Hello and welcome to the Miskatonic Playhouse, where tonight I am incredibly excited to spend an evening with you all. My name is John Hedge and I am the backstage manager at the Miskatonic Playhouse, but tonight I am your keeper of arcane lore. We will be exploring the brand new Alpaca in the coffee. Now, I'm super excited to share this one with you all because I wrote it myself, and I've assembled a crack team of investigators to unravel this mystery with me. Now, I have mostly been able to get the same group of people to go through all of my scenarios, but I've had to make a substitution this time because she already has run through it. So we threw Bridget out because who cares about Bridget? And we have replaced her with the absolutely wonderful Rina Haenze. Rina, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your character.
Hey everyone, I'm Rina and I am playing Harper Greenman. She is an athlete. Pronouns are she, her. And what else do you want me to say?
That's probably enough right now.
Okay.
We're going to move on to the next most important person here, Stu Sellens.
I'm Stu, and I'm playing Karla Nogacz, she, her, an author who's just moved to Edinburgh from Ukraine.
Pete.
Yeah, I'm Pete. I'll be playing a scientist called Edward Murphy, or Eddie Murphy. His pronouns are he, him. He's from Edinburgh, Scotland, but he will not be having a Scottish accent tonight.
And finally, last and definitely least, our normal host, T.A. Newman.
Hello, I'm T.A. Newman, and tonight I shall be playing Vada Chakrabati, who is Indian Irish, and I'm leaning into the Irish after having discussion with the keeper, kind of accent and descent. And they are the youngest ever full-time kind of professor of computer science at the University of Edinburgh, and they are quite the computer whiz. So I feel a certain affinity with this character in terms of their intellect.
Do you know how to use a computer, Newman?
Yeah, I just shout for one of my children and point at it and go, on, and something usually happens.
Is modern day. It is summer. You are in the up and coming northern suburb of Leith, just on the edges of the city of Edinburgh in Scotland. And you are all hanging out at my local gaming store, Ancient Robot Games, who actually allowed me to not only use the name of their store in this game, but gave me pictures of their faces and that some of the players and all of the NPCs are actually people that I know and visit the shop regularly. Ancient Robot Games is a beautiful, airy board game shop in central Leith. It is an up and coming area. It was voted the coolest place to be in Europe recently. It is really changing. It used to be a really rough area, but these days it's turning into this really up and coming, hipster, cool place. And Ancient Robot's probably a prime example of that. It sits on the old train station, Leith train station. So it's in this ancient, beautiful Victorian building, but it's got huge windows. It's really, really sunny. They serve coffee, and you go in, you hang out, you play games. It's a wonderful place to be, and you all love it. And you're all regulars there. It is Friday night. It is still warm outside. The sun is still out. You're in those long Scottish evenings, and you're playing a board game together. In fact, you regularly play a board game together. There are 5 people playing board games, each of you plus your friend Byron. And I'd like to start by just figuring out what kind of board game that you're all playing. I kind of imagine it to be some sort of cooperative game, but I'll let you guys fill in all the details. Who wants to start helping us invent our board game together? Go on, Newman.
I would like to say that the board is a map, like an island. I don't know whether that's in quadrants, squares. I don't know whether we move around it or whatnot, but I think it's like there's an island. Maybe there's pieces that are the island actually as well. So it's almost like a 3D board game.
I would say Edward probably wouldn't play a game unless it's got about 15 different card decks and maybe like just under 1,000 tokens. So it's going to be quite complex.
Yeah. No, that's cool. I think there's got to be a sense of like resource management, but like to the nth degree.
Hmm.
I was very much a fan of detective novels, and pretty much everything here is a bit of a mystery to solve. So when it comes to a board game, first choice is going to be something that, yes, it's collaborative, but there's going to be an answer. There's going to be a secret at the end. So we're working towards a goal. We're working towards
Mm.
maybe resource management, yes, but we're definitely working towards a goal to uncover something at the end of it.
There has to be puzzles.
Oh
You
yeah.
have to be able to solve things, put them together
Yeah.
in little puzzles that build up to a bigger puzzle as we're solving the mystery and managing our resources.
Can Vida
And,
just look at the side of the box and just see that it says average playing time 24 days with all
Could
of these
be,
things?
yeah, absolutely. And you've got one other person at the table. His name is Byron. You're all friends with Byron. He's an odd little man, but he would never hurt a fly. He's very, very kind. And he has been drinking quite a lot of coffee this evening. So he's got 3 or 4 cups. And he seems to be getting a bit jittery drinking all this coffee. Speaking of, what are the rest of you drinking? Anyone else having a coffee?
I'm definitely having a coffee because it doesn't have much of an effect on me for some reason or another, but I like how it tastes, and people tell me
Mm.
not to drink too much of it, and when people tell me not to do something, it makes me want to do it more.
The rest of you are tea drinkers?
Oh, a
I'd
nice
say a good,
mint tea, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
go for decaf
Brilliant.
coffee. Just watching the blood
Okay.
pressure.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Veda's on
Veda?
like a double. Veda's on like a double shot kind of thing. It's the work that she does, the screens, the input, the algorithms, that bouncing around the university, interacting with individuals. It's a or what she now perceives to be a caffeine based productivity.
Okay, all right. So we've got quite a lot of caffeine at this table, and so yeah, actually, Veda, it's weird. You know that it's a cooperative game, but you're kind of getting a bit angry at just the speed at which the others are playing. It's annoying you. It's upsetting you, and more than that, more annoyingly, also at the other table, because there's more than one game going on this evening. One of the other tables, they're getting really rowdy. They're playing some expansive war game, and arguments are bursting out. They're being really, really loud, and they're shouting over, and it's getting hard to talk to the others, and you're getting annoyed at them, and everything's just really pissing you off right now. And then Byron sort of stands up from beside you, knocking over his just pile of empty coffee cups, turns to the other table and screams, "Will you shut the fuck up?" And he swings at one of the people at the other table, to which the other table basically stands up, throws the table over, and dives at Byron with a spoon, trying to gouge out his eye. Can you all give me sanity rolls, please?
Whoa, 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 whoa,
I
whoa!
thought you said Leith was getting nice.
Yeah,
It's
sanity.
murder on the board game floor out here.
Yeah.
Oh. Sanity roll.
Success for me, 60 under 70.
Nice. Yeah, so
can I-
that's sanity. Everyone except Ed passes the san roll.
Oh,
Ed, just take a 1d3.
Could I re-roll that? Because I think my sanity was set too low on the character sheet. It should be 60, right?
It looks like you rolled 60. You rolled 62 over 60.
It
Oh.
it shows you like a breaking point, your current sanity and and then like overall.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you
Pete's
need
learning roll
a...
20. You rolled 62 and you failed.
These are the other
Yeah.
character sheets.
You're 1d3, Ed. Now, I need a power roll from both Veda and Harper.
Okay.
Hard success
so
for Harper.
Failure
nice.
for
Okay.
Vida.
Veda, you dive straight into the rumble. Not
Yeah.
even a question. These people would be pissing you off, and you really, really want to punch someone. And so give me a fighting brawl. See how you do.
Can I like swipe like a space marine like tank or something, and I'm like jumping on one of the guys. I'm not trying to force it in their mouth.
Okay.
Fighting brawl, space marine brawl.
No one's ever
Ooh.
tried to shove a space marine in someone's mouth. Yeah. You try and jump on this guy's back, and then, but from behind you, this woman just picks you up and throws you across the room, doing, let's do 1d3 damage. Do you want to roll that for me?
Oh, crikey. Yeah, I do. Okay. Oh, I can't do it like that, can I?
You can just roll a 1d6 and half it, or you could do dash
Oh,
R 1d3.
that's. Do you know what? Sometimes people with clever ideas just make me sick. 5
So
halved
that's
is
3.
1.
That's 3 damage, Newman.
Oh, my bad.
The other 3 of you, you watch all this chaos break out around you. How do we react? Let's maybe start with Harper.
Harper is debating whether or not to get involved and then decides she probably shouldn't. And so she's standing back, drinking more coffee and looking bemused and bouncing kind of on the balls of her feet with all the energy and the excitement that's going on around her, desperately wanting to jump in but trying not to.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing happening to you. You've got this desire to get involved, this really deep, strong desire to get involved that you almost can't explain. You've never been a violent person, but for some reason you just want to tear someone's head off. Clara.
I was absolutely the opposite here. This shop is basically her home now. This after coming to this country, everything's new, everything's strange. This shop has been the one constant. So these people trying to brawl in the middle, they're damaging the shop. I think things are being knocked on the floor. I think Clara's going to be grabbing board games, putting them back on the shelves, supporting a shelf, stopping it from falling over, trying to save what little bits she can of the shop, stop it from being damaged here.
I like that. Do you want to give me a little bit of a dexterity roll to determine how well that goes? I realize that you can't do a little bit of a dexterity roll, but you've done an excellent dexterity roll. So you managed to protect quite a lot of the shop, and the owner of the shop is this. Well, the manager at least is this man Morgan, who is like pulling himself around from his desk and rushing to try and deal with this just brawl, this melee that's broken out in his store. And Ed, you're shaken by this. Ed, why are you? What about this has really thrown you? What made that sound roll so bad for you?
Well, similar to Clara, I mean, this is like almost his home away from home. It's the first place he's ever felt at home, and just to see a sudden outbreak of violence in it is not what he was expecting at all. So he's taken aback and he's completely frozen.
Oh, nice. Yes, you're just frozen in place. You don't know what to do. Yeah, none of your routines have kicked in. So with that in mind, what I'm going to have happen now is the brawl basically just tears half the shop apart. Clara and Morgan manage to protect the back half. There's fighting going on. Vada's in the middle of it, and she looks so small. The other table was full of a group of just much like they're actually rugby players, big lasses, and they just like knock through Vada. She's going to have quite a few bruises in the morning, but eventually the melee kind of the tussle breaks out through the front door into the street, and the fighting happens. But then, as they knock out into the street, what happens is your friend Byron turns to the 3 of you left at the table and just tries to sock Ed in the face. Ed, what do you do about
Byron.
I think if there's a punch coming towards him, his training's going to kick in, and he's going to use some of his Brazilian jiu-jitsu, I think,
Brilliant.
to probably fight back or defend himself.
Well, the good news is that he did not do very good with the punch. And you defend yourself, and he bounces off, which means he comes flying at Clara and slams into Clara. Clara, do you want to give me a dodge roll?
Yep. Yes. Character sheet. There it is. Dodging is not Clara's strong suit, but that is a 30 on 30. So that is a
Nice. And he knocks into you. So you do take the punch, but you manage to not really get hurt by it. You roll with it. But as he hits you, like his eyes go from this angry aggressive, annoyed, upset, to just like shock. He suddenly realizes where he is and what's going on, and just looks around him with his rusty spoon in his hand that's slightly bloodied, and you really don't want to know why. And he turns, and he suddenly goes from that aggressive thing to terrified at what he's done. And Byron, of course, is the one who brought this game. So, like, he just turns, he grabs his bag, and he just sweeps everything off the table into his bag. Can the four of you give me luck rolls, please?
Oh boy.
Yeet.
Oh,
Oh boy, indeed.
93 over 60.
Luck. Oh, I got good luck. 56 over 70.
So
Failed.
it is Harper and it is Clara. Your mobile phones were on the table and caught up as he throws it all into his bag, throws it over his shoulder, and just bolts out of the door. With a terrified look in his face. And suddenly, the four of you find yourself mostly alone in this absolute chaos of a a board game shop.
Do we see that he sweeps up like everything and potentially mobile
Yeah.
phones?
Harper, Clara, he's just nicked your phones and run out the door.
Vader immediately checks both her pockets to make sure she's got both her mobile phones.
Yeah, I
What?
think yours were both. You had one in each back pocket.
What the hell's going on with Byron?
I've never
We
seen him
take
act
off
like
running
that.
after Byron. I want my phone back.
Yeah, Clara's got too many memories on that phone. That needs to be returned now.
Right.
So you both.
Are we
you
going?
both
Are we
just
all
sprint
going?
off after him.
Yeah.
Taking my heels off.
Are we following him?
Get your ass out here, Eddie Murphy. I take my coffee.
you are-
Yeah, I gotta follow.
All right. Yes. So it sounds like Vada's off out front. So Vada, you are chasing off after Karen, and you are just bolting out the door. Harper is alongside you. The other two are a little no. No, Harper and Clara are both alongside you. It's Eddie that's supposed to react.
Yeah.
Right, so the three of you are bolting down the road, and he's just heading up Leith Walk. It's this beautiful major through face that links Leith to Edinburgh. There's a brand new tram line along it, and there's a tram pulling up to stop beside you. But he's just bolting up the street. What do you do?
Running.
All right, if you're going to just chase after him,
Bounce
just that's
after
a
him?
con roll.
What direction's the tram going?
Same direction.
So we jump onto the tram. It'll overtake him. I think Clara's
I
going
got
to
an
jump on the tram.
extreme.
Quickly beep her card on the.
All right, so Clara's like ha 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 and dives into the tram as the doors slowly close, and then Harper's having none of it. She's just bolting up the street.
I don't
As
think she
fast
even
as you
noticed
can.
there's a tram. I don't think she even noticed the tram. She's just laser focused.
All right, and Veda.
I think Vader just follows Clara if able to.
Yeah, sure.
Just out of lack
Right.
of her own, kind of like looking at the two of them and kind of going, oh, yep, go, let's go.
All right. Well, in that case, I'll take a group luck roll from the two of you. Whose luck is lower?
Mine's 70.
Mine too.
All right. Why don't we, Clara, since it was your idea, let you take the luck roll here.
There you go. Oh, there's an 8 under 70, an extreme success.
Yeah. So the doors open just as he turns into an alleyway, turns off the main roads, and basically is right outside the doors of the tram. So you've gained on him. But we had a lot of extreme successes there. So you all just pile on down along this alleyway, chasing after Byron. And now you find yourselves in a much darker street. He's kind of cut down an alleyway, and you're chasing in on this alleyway. You find yourselves getting a bit lost in the maze of alleys around here. It's a little bit darker. Suddenly, there's no more sun. It smells a little bit. There's trash on the floor. You are hot on his heels, so you could continue just this straight up chase, but this one's going to be dexterity roll because you're going around. Or you could try some more smart moves if anyone has any great ideas.
We try and like shout to him and like either intimidate him or persuade him or just like
What are you saying? I would check your character sheet to see which skills you have before
Well,
making any.
I quite like rolling bad stats. I think it's in line with what may actually happen. So I'm happy to roll something that's really poor. I think the intention would be to shout to him and stop him, even if that's not my strength. Maybe it might kind of almost nudge Clara or Harper to do the same as well, to kind of shout him down and like he's clearly on one. It's like snapping him out of it. So Byron, you silly bugger! Stop right there! Put that bag down! Your mother would be disappointed in you.
Nice. Give me a persuade roll.
Okay. Oh dear. Guys, I got this. Oh my god, I got this! 7 over 10.
Oh,
And now give me a power roll.
A power roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this. Oh, no, that was the wrong button. That was an education roll. Sorry, everyone. Power roll. Oh, failed. Of course. 70 over 65.
Excellent. So he slows down. And so the two of you, Clara and Harper, slow down and just watch Vada just run straight into him and start punching him in the head repeatedly, aggressively. She looks like she's trying to kill him. What do you do?
I think we're gonna
grab
need
Vada
to,
and try and pull her off him.
and I'll grab the Byron and pull him away from her.
Okay, brilliant. Please both give me strength rolls.
Hard success.
97 over 50. Can I push that roll?
Yes, so I think what happens here is that you manage to pull Vada off him, and he's got a black eye and bruised, and you sort of fail to hold Byron as he sort of tries to squirm, and he shouts, "Let me go!" and he tries to run away again, and you've not really managed to grab him here. So the push is going to have to be, you have to explain to me what you do to try and hold him down, because he's trying to run away again.
I think he's trying to get away. I maybe tried to grab him around the waist and slipped. So if I jump down, leap forwards, I might be able to grab him around the legs and stop him. But of course, this is a nasty alleyway, dark alleyway. Who knows what's on the floor? Who knows what I might land on? Let's give it another go for a strength roll. That's a 23 under 50. Hard success.
You knock him down and he slams to the ground, and you're on top of him, basically holding him in place. And Veda, you're just seeing red. You're so angry. You're viciously trying to kill Harper right now. You just want to beat her senseless, and you can't even explain why. Give me a fighting brawl.
Oh.
Harper, how are you going to respond to this?
Gonna dodge.
Cool. Give me a power roll,
I
Harper.
thought you were going to say gonna die then.
Harper,
Oh,
give me a
dear.
power roll.
Okay. Be funnier if I failed it.
Yeah, Harper. The thing is, you would normally dodge, but you've the whole evening you've just wanted to hurt something. You really want to hurt her right now, so you don't dodge. You give a fighting brawl.
I don't want to point the finger at anyone, Keeper, but someone fumbled
I
on
can
their
see
fighting
that.
brawl roll. Yeah, I
Mhm.
just thought I'd own up before I
Mhm.
get called out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Failed mine.
Can you roll me 1d3 damage, please, Veda?
Okay. So it's 2.
You took 2 damage, Veda. You get
go.
knocked back, and you get hit in the head, and suddenly you're seeing double, and you don't feel very well, and you sit down.
I am at half
Harper
my
is-
hit points.
Yeah, that's totally fine, but you haven't taken half your hit points in a single hit,
Nope.
so you're chill for the moment. But yes, suddenly you get knocked in the head and you sit down. You're not feeling particularly okay. You've got a bit of a concussion there. And Byron, and we'll switch back to Byron and Clara. Byron desperately trying to get away. I gotta get away. Gotta get away. I can't do this.
Just let me have my phone. Let me have my phone. I think Clara's going to grab the bag, dip in, try and grab the phone.
Okay,
multiple phones.
yeah, I think as you do that, he's going to pull away and just sprint away, and you're left holding the bag full of all the things.
That's good enough for me. I wanted the phones. Byron,
Cool.
he'll settle himself down. We know him. We trust him. He's obviously something's going on, but he'll come round again, and we'll check on him in the morning and see where we go. But I've got the
Excellent.
phones.
You turn around to find that Harper seems to have smacked Veda in the head, and both Veda and Harper are looking a bit worse for wear in this second.
Guys, what's going on? What? I've got the bag. I've got the phones. But what are you doing?
Harper fucking hit me. I'm like holding my head.
I think you were on mute there, Rina.
You tried to hit me first.
But I fucking missed.
That doesn't make it any better.
Well, it doesn't make it any worse, does it?
Well,
That fucking hurt.
I've got the phones. I've got the phone. Let's leave this place and don't try and hit each other. Come on.
Okay, let's pivot to Eddie. Everyone else ran off, and you were a bit slow to start. And by the time you'd gotten yourself out of the door, they were all miles away up the street. You're standing alone outside of the shop with the rugby girls from earlier kind of making noise the other way down the street, and you turn to see a half-wrecked shop, a couple of slightly apologetic looking former gamers in one corner, and the owner of the shop, Morgan. Well, this is not good.
You get this a lot. This hasn't happened before, has it?
No. This is a new one. Yeah, I mean, you open a shop in Leith, you expect the occasional nutter. You know, they sometimes come in. Had a guy come in recently, tell me he was Banksy. But no, this is new. This is yeah, no.
Has Byron ever done like anything like that before?
I mean,
He's not
he's,
usually
he's your
that rich,
mate.
is he? Yeah.
No. I thought he was a pacifist. And you
Think he
do
was,
actually know this. Byron, Eddie, he is your friend. Byron is an avowed pacifist.
So completely out of character what he did in the shop.
Hmm. I mean, he literally would not hurt a fly.
The gamers in the corner, are they the war gamers who were being loud?
Yeah, they were the ones who were being loud. They weren't the ones who erupted into crazy violence. That was their friends.
Right, I'm going to go up to that group and just sort of say, just sort of apologize on behalf of Byron. I'm going to go, oh guys, look, I'm really sorry. I don't know what got into him. You guys okay?
Yeah. Yeah, we're sorry too. That was. I don't even know what happened, to be honest with you. It was just crazy. Sarah was getting really upset, and she was telling us all we were cheating, and then it just got out of hand. I'm really sorry. Morgan, I'm really sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry too, Morgan, on behalf of Byron. Look, he doesn't have to come back here. Yeah, he was drinking a lot of coffee, so maybe that's got something to do with it.
What? No, the coffee's great. Don't. It's new stuff actually. It's really good. Have you tried? Did you try it, Eddie? You should try the coffee. It's fantastic.
I had the decaf. Is the decaf from the same?
Oh no, that's the old stuff. Yeah, the old stuff's the new stuff's just this so it's locally brewed. Here, I've got the packet somewhere. And Miranda, if you would load up handout 1. All right, and for the players, it is now in rule 20. So for those listening, it says alpaca coffee, spelt Scottishly Al AH-LL, and it's got a lovely picture of an alpaca on it. Let's just give Pete a second to handle all this and see what the three of our violent convicts in an alley are doing. Veda, you're bloodied. You're looking a little bit worse for wear, but Harper has helped you up, and the three of you are looking at the bag. So what are you doing?
Phone back. First off.
You have your phone back.
Maybe there's. Do you know? Obviously, I don't know Byron as long as you do, but is this in character? It seems so out of character for Byron.
He's very calm usually.
I've never seen him act like that. I mean, that was like. But then Harper, I've never seen you act like that either, so it's a bit suspicious, you know.
Well, I've never seen you jumping into a fight trying to shove miniatures down someone's throat either, so pot, meet, kettle.
Is there a moment, Keeper, where there is like a self-reflection? Is that like a recognition, or is it like a no? You don't know what you're talking about.
I think that you're a very smart woman, and that level, the level of bloodlust you felt earlier, you would be able to understand that that was out of character for you. I mean, you've got brothers you fought before, but
Yeah.
that was like having your blood up times 5. Like it was just way more than anything you've experienced before.
I will take a second then for Harper and just kind of say, do you know what? You're right, Harper. I just, you know, sometimes when we like playing games and that, and you know, you kind of get wrapped up in it. I fucking hate Space Marines as well. Like my brothers used to play Space Marines, and I was always the Necrons, and I fucking hate them. The sight of them would drive me nuts. Like, so I'm sorry if that triggered something and my behavior. And even though I didn't hit you and you hit me, I'm sorry for taking a swing at you. It's not in my nature.
Harper's just kind of bobbing her head back and forth. Fine. Okay, I'm sorry I hit you too, I guess.
You did hit me, yeah. Yeah. Right, thank you. I accept your apology. Thank you. Clara, what have you got to apologise for?
I don't.
Oh,
I don't think I've done anything wrong, apart from getting your bloody phones back. And
standing on that hill, are we?
I think absent-mindedly, Clara was flicking through Byron's bag.
That's what hidden.
Yes. That is a 100 over 60, a lovely fumble.
Roll 20 chose violence.
So, who personally do you want to hurt more, Rina or Newman?
Whoa, that wasn't characters. That was players. I know that's intentional, but I just thought I'd point that out for everybody.
That's a 2, that's Newman.
Oh, also a 1 was Newman, surprisingly.
It's
You
Newman's
know,
all the way down.
I was going to say you can name before you roll rather than just rolling and not looking and go, oh, it was Newman.
You pull out a small flask, and then you open the flask and you smell coffee. Which weirdly, what happens then is Veda grabs it and just starts drinking the coffee, throws it down, laughs, and then starts running off. Veda, give me a power roll.
Oh my word. Oh, a hard success. 27 under 65.
Okay. When we do the recap later, I'm going to tell you why that was a very, very good roll to succeed. Right.
Okay.
Veda, you decide that absolutely definitely Harper's not to blame. Absolutely definitely that coffee tastes really good and you want more, but absolutely definitely Byron has pissed you off and you need to give him a good talking to and smack him in the face a couple more times. You're just so angry at him. You cannot help it. You're just pissed. And you run round the corner. You know where he lives. You've been there before. You helped him move recently to a small place. He's been saving up to buy a house. He's quite excited about this. And so he moved into a very small, cramped little flat just down this dark alleyway in Leith. And you get to his door. It's not even locked. You push it open. You make your way up the stairs. You're just going to give him a good talking to. You really, you just need to give him a good talking to. You know, you're just And you get to his door. And it's just a little bit open. And you push open the door. And someone got there first. Byron is lying dead on the floor in front of you. It looks like someone has brained him with a baseball bat in the back of the head. Give me a sanity roll.
Okay. Oh, it's an extreme success with 8 over 65.
You're still going to lose one san.
Of course.
What do you do?
I think opening the door and seeing that state of what I'm assuming Keeper is head, crush, skull, brain matter, blood, just such a significant gory aspect. And as much as I've got brothers and cousins and a huge family and play fighting and all this kind of stuff, I mean, this is an insane amount of violence, even beyond what we've experienced tonight. I'm used to screens, algorithms. This real world horror that I'm witnessing right now is way too much. And I think just in that frozen moment, Vada takes a step back, and the only kind of words that she can mutter as she steps back up: Space Marines.
Veda? Is he still breathing? Let's cut to Eddie. You are in the shop and you've been helping out, just put everything back together after this chaos. And Morgan is complaining to you. He actually says to you, I wasn't even supposed to be here today. Hoping that you get the reference.
He gives an annoying sort of nod
Nice.
as he's picking up
Yeah.
the tables and stuff.
You know what? It's not even my turn. Claire's meant to be on tonight, but she just didn't turn up to work. And she's not answering her phone. And I just don't know, man. It's just been such a day, you know?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean,
Yeah.
what happened? Is she sick or?
I don't know. This is the thing. I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm a wee bit worried about it. Like, she's not answering her phone. She's not turned up to work. It's not like Claire. Like, she's perpetually online. You know, like even when she's not working, she's normally active on the Discord. It's like she's just gone.
Yeah, does she live nearby? I could go and check on her if you want. I've got to
Yeah,
find the guys
yeah.
anyway.
Actually, you know what? That'd be good. She's not far. She lives up in the new town. So she just lives on Street and Street, which is 20-minute walk away up in some of the one of the newer parts of Edinburgh, and the Edwardian buildings with the 7 stories. She lives in one of those hippie house shares up there.
Yeah, so Eddie says like, yeah, I can check on it. Look, I've got to get in touch with the guys. Just want to make sure they're okay. And he's gonna pull out his phone and try and call Clara.
Yeah, I think we probably have a group WhatsApp.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he's on the WhatsApp and he's just like, where are you guys? Did you find Byron? Did you get your phones back?
I think just after Veda has run off, that's Clara when your phone pings.
It's Eddie. I'll reply back. Found Byron. Got phones. Something's up. Veda. Run off. Send.
I'm gonna say where to?
To find Byron. We think.
I'm gonna text back to say, where do you want me to come to you guys? I was gonna go check on Claire. I assume they know who Claire is.
Byron needs time. Veda needs time. We'll come to you.
Say,
See you at
cool.
Claire's.
Yeah, and I'll text the address. And I'll also say she didn't turn up for work. Morgan's a bit worried.
Assuming Harper's seeing
Great.
these messages as well on the WhatsApp group.
Hmm. I think Harper would have actually started running after Veda at this point because her blood's kind of up.
Oh yes. All right. So so uh let's play that out.
Hmm.
Veda, is he still breathing?
Uh, um, uh, 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 Byron, I'm just going to come and like are you alive, Byron? I think I can see you breathing. I'm just gonna like check.
Which is the exact moment Harper comes through the door as Veda has her hands on Byron as he's lying with his.
Can I be taking his pulse so it looks like I'm strangling him?
Yes.
So sanity roll or
Yeah, sanity roll.
yes.
So I do a first
Apparently,
aid
I'm
check.
okay with this.
Uh, Harper, lose one sanity. I am happy to let you interpret this however you like. If you'd like me to provide you with some more details, I can offer you a spot hidden.
Okay, I'll take that. More rolls I can potentially fumble, the better. Not quite a fumble, but I still failed.
It looks like your worst fears have been realized and Veda's just beaten him to death.
What did you do?
What do you mean? What did I do? I didn't do this.
There's no one else here, Veda.
I didn't do it. I ran in here and his brains were all over the floor. Look at my hands. And my hands covered in blood.
Yeah.
Look at my hands. Don't look at my hands. I was checking to see if he was alive.
Sure.
Harper.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, you
I-
killed somebody. Okay. This
No,
is
no,
this
no,
is
no,
not
no,
good.
no, no. You're mistaken. No, I didn't kill nobody. No, 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 no. What I did, I was checking to see if he was alive. I was checking his pulse here in his neck. Look, and I'll lean over again and check his pulse and basically show Harper that I'm strangling him again by checking his pulse and be like, look, I'm checking. I want to see if he's alive.
Give me a first aid roll.
A success. 18 over under 30.
So I'm trying to put a jumper on, so it's called. You're pretty sure he just died in your arms. Give me a sanity roll.
Oh, shit.
I'll take a D4.
75 over 64. D4 coming. Oh, well, that's a 4.
Oh, okay. Well, there's 470.
Why not?
Okay, so I watched How to Get Away with Murder recently, and you can get rid of DNA evidence by burning things, but I don't know if we should be burning things right now. And oh
Look-
god, one of my friends just killed one of my other friends, and what am I supposed to do about this? And where do we put bodies? What do we do with bodies? I once read an article about this, like the best way to get rid of a body, but
the first bit, I appreciate the fact that you're willing to help me get rid of the body, but I didn't fucking kill him. Like, I'm just checking his, like, he just died, like, then in my arms. Like, look at his head. Look at his head. Look at the
his
crush.
head. That's the problem. What did you do to his head?
But I didn't, like, I couldn't do that with me bare hands like that. I haven't got, like, look at that. Someone needs, like, a bloody lead pipe or a baseball bat or something like that. I didn't do it with me mobile phones now, did I?
Okay, that's actually a good
actually,
point.
Harper. Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's a good point. Okay, so there's no baseball bats. Okay, you're not strong enough to bash somebody's head in. I don't think you are, although I've read about
Right.
things that people can do when they're really heavy adrenaline rush, like lifting cars
No,
off of
not this.
children and things like that. But
Harper,
Right.
just as a point of order, Veda has really buff arms.
oh,
I didn't do it. I might be an exceptional specimen of a human being, but I didn't crush his head. Like, I think it might be best to step away from Byron now in case the police come here and they're looking for evidence and that. I don't want to, what do they say, decontaminate the crime scenes.
I think they mean
Um,
contaminate, but
That's right.
yeah, but your fingerprints are in the blood.
But just around the neck, which I know doesn't
It's not
sound good.
helpful.
I know, but he didn't die of choking, did he? Look at his head. Like, you don't choke someone and the head bloody explodes now.
Should we call the cops? What do we do? What do we do if we call the cops? We
The
could get in
fucking
trouble if we
don't
call
call
the
the
cops.
cops. They're as fucking angry as we are. Look, we just need a minute to think now. Where's
At which
where's
point in
Clara?
time, let's pivot back to where Clara is. Clara, you meet up with Ed standing outside one of the Newtown Edwardian builds. This is a beautiful streets. So, Rina, Newtown in Edinburgh means 350 years old because we're that sort of city. And these are beautiful new buildings, which your street level is here, and there's one level down with windows, so it like leads down, and then there's another level up, and then there's 3 more stories up. So it's actually a 4-story building with beautiful, beautiful high ceilings. And normally these days, most of these have been converted into flats, so it's not unusual for one of these to be hiding like many, many houses, and so it's not unusual to see people living here. And you find the door that belongs to Claire, and it's this beautiful, beautiful blue door up a set of stairs. And I guess, Ed, you arrive just before Clara, but the two of you walk up and you realize that the door is slightly open.
Is the property flats or is it look does it look like one residence?
It looks like one residence, but it's tricky to tell.
Okay. Clara, do we just go straight in? Morgan is just worried. I mean, we just maybe call on her and just check on her, and then we can just go back and find the other guys. Check on Byron.
We should at least knock. Don't
Yeah.
want to surprise her. We don't want to just walk in. I mean, if she's there and we just walk and storm in with no notice, I mean that's not going to make things better, is it?
Oh
We
yeah.
knock on the
yeah.
door, announce our presence, and see where we go.
Okay. Okay. Knock, knock, knock. Quite loudly.
No answer.
Well, that didn't work. Should we just go straight in and perhaps surprise her?
I hope for the best.
Okay.
In we go.
The door ekes open, and you make your way into what was probably once a very expensive landing area. There looks like there's a door to your right and to your left. The left one looks like a kitchen. The right one looks like some kind of living area. And then in front of you, there's a very expensive looking set of stairs leading up above you. The whole place has this feeling of having been once very upmarket and once very expensive, but no upkeep has happened here in a long, long time. So while this carpet was probably an incredibly expensive luxury 50 years ago when it was installed, now it's sort of stained and pockmarked, and there's still cigarette scars from years of parties and whatever. This place is beginning to become decrepit, although there's some signs of people attempting to look after it. That's a very cheap attempt to look after a very expensive building.
Well, Eddie's going to sort of close the door behind them, and he's going to call out. He's going to say, "Claire, Claire, are you here? Morgan sent us. It's Eddie and Clara from the shop."
And as the two of you step forward, you look left and right. And as you look right, you look into a living area. And sat in a pool of their own blood, looking like they've been stabbed through the chest, is a young man, maybe in his early 20s. Give me sanity rolls, both of you.
Fail 89.
36 under 70.
Over 57.
Okay, so the fail is going to take 1d4. The success, Clara, I'll say you're going to be hard into this. I'll take 0 for this.
That's a 2 from me.
He looks like he's been pushed backwards, and he's been stabbed as if he's dropped back, and it's by the fireplace. So there was one of the fire pokers sticking out, and basically it's now sticking out from his chest. But it's quite clear he's been dead a while. His head is dropped down. His whole posture is slumped over this thing. and the blood is dried, and he's starting to smell a little. And as you walk into the room, you can just smell that slight decomposition of dead body, which unfortunately, Clara, you've kind of gotten a little used to.
Stay back. Eddie, this is a crime scene now. And if the one
Okay.
thing that we need to do, if you do not want to get our prints on anything in here, call 999 and I'll
Yeah.
have a look and
Yeah.
see.
Is he dead? Is he dead?
I mean, look at that blood.
Uh,
Look, it's drying. He's not moving.
Eddie, give me a spot hidden. Eddie.
That's a fail. 98 over 58.
Yeah, so another young man comes screaming down the stairs and dives at you. He's going to make a brawl attack on you, and because you failed that, you're going to have a penalty die on any response. You're going to fight back, you're going to dodge.
Yeah, I'm gonna fight back. If I hit the bonus dice, can I choose whether it's
Yeah,
high or low? Okay.
so that's a fail. Luckily, he failed too, so he rolled a 47. So he's not managed to hurt you in this case, but he is basically on your back and he's just beating you on the back of the head. Luckily, he's not as big or as strong as you, so he's not doing a particularly good job of it. But you are presently getting assaulted.
Hmm.
What do you do?
I'm gonna, rather than try and do any kind of maneuver, I'm just gonna sort of run backwards as hard as I can into a wall.
Fantastic. That will be a strength check. Clara, what are you up to as Ed gets attacked?
I think it's going to take a second to notice because Clara's looking around trying to work out what's going on, but the noise distracts her. And seeing Eddie run backwards into a wall with somebody on her back, I think straight away it's going to help try and get this man off Eddie.
Okay, so some kind of you're trying to hold him.
Try and hold him. Yeah, I think if his arms are flailing, it's trying to grab the arms, trying to grapple him that way.
This is a maneuver. That's fighting brawl.
It's a 36 over 25.
Well, he rolled a 100, so normally that would not work at all. But I think what happens here is the slam, and it just knocks him, wins him. And he basically is unable to breathe, and he's pretty much just sitting there, like unable to move, just shocked by the whole thing.
Do I still have Byron's bag?
Yes,
Is it a satchel with a long strap, or is it more a rucksack?
I think that it's a leather satchel. It's a
Gonna-
throwback thing.
I'm going to remove the strap and I'm going to tie this man's hands up so he cannot move.
Absolutely. I think that's something that you know how to do very, very well. Which Eddie is a little bit surprising. Clara is tying these hands like an expert, just as a little bit of a.
He's going with
But
it. He's going with it, and he's going to say to the guy, he's going to sort of slap him around the face a little bit. He's going to say, "What the hell? Why are you attacking me? Who are you?"
ah, you're invaders. Got to, got to stop the invaders.
Invaders? What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
you came into our home. Gonna attack you. Gotta, everyone's against me. Gotta fight. Gotta
Against
fight.
who's that? And he points over to the dead body.
Oh, that's Simon. Simon. He he tried to attack us, so it was self defense.
Can I maybe just try and get a gauge on whether this guy's faculties are all there or not?
That's probably a psychology roll.
Hmm.
Clara, I will also give you an occult roll here if you so wish, or a psychology roll, depending
I'll-
on your preference and the kind of information you'd like to have.
I'll take an occult roll, please. It's 80 over 55. But I have 70 luck.
It's a lot of luck.
That's a lot of luck.
Use
It is
Push
now.
that roll.
do it.
Gotta
Do it.
push
Come
the
on, chat.
occult roll. Push
Do
the
it.
occult roll.
I'll tell you how you push the occult roll because because I'm gonna hand you another clue as you push this occult roll. But let's just deal with the successful psychology roll first. Eddie, he looks. You've seen addicts before? This looks like someone who can barely think because they're so absolutely determined to get their next fix. That's what it feels like. That's the vibe that's happening here. You look into the kitchen that's beside you, Clara, and you see some bags of that same coffee that Eddie had mentioned was the new coffee at the shop. And the way I'd like you to push this roll, if you so wish, is to grab one of those coffee bags and show it to the guy.
Absolutely. Oh, that's an 83 over 55.
The coffee grinds fall into your mouth.
I am the coffee.
I have become coffee, destroyer of worlds.
Here's what I'm going to do to you, Clara. What I'm going to do to you is I'm going to say, you show him the coffee, and you're like, "Is this it?" And he just kind of goes, "No." And you, Clara, are sure that it is not the coffee.
Oh yeah, it can't be the coffee. I mean, it's coffee. That's stupid. I mean, he's on something, but not this. I think toss the coffee onto the floor. Don't need that anymore. But I do think I've got a man here. He needs help. He's Eddie. Eddie, you keep him occupied. I'm gonna call for an ambulance. I'm gonna call for some police. We need to get somebody here to help.
Yeah, Eddie doesn't know what keep him occupied means, so he just starts making small talk with the guy, like really awkward small talk. So, nice house,
Yeah.
really high ceilings.
I'm going to kill you. I'm going to tear your head off.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm just saying, it's nice high ceilings. I mean,
And
you've been living here long.
spread your intestines across the entire room. Yeah, actually, a few of us moved in recently. It was really nice, but I'm going to spread your intestines across everything.
Okay, and he's gonna sort of just put his foot slowly on his chest, just sort of keep him against the wall, so that he's not gonna move anytime soon.
Right. Let's pivot back to our two very competent investigators with their hands covered in blood. What's your move? What are you doing?
Right. Harper, we need to think like what would the other I in my head I think Clara would be telling us, do not call an ambulance, do not call the police, right? We cannot get them involved. It's going to be an absolute shit show. And you're going to go to jail, Harper.
Touched anything? You're the one who's covered in blood.
Yeah, I'm like a trusted professional educator at the university. I've got a bit of like credibility in that, so I think they'll understand why I was trying to save their life. But we're not here naming names and pointing the finger. As I'm doing that, I presume I'm like unexpectedly like flicking blood between the two of us as I'm kind of doing that. Like we have to make sure the crime scene isn't like, spread about in that, like in the true crime documentaries. You know the ones.
Dexter?
Oi, Dexter. We
Do
need a kill room.
you both want to make spot hiddens as you look around this
Yes,
flat?
please. Thank you, Keeper.
Ooh,
Yes,
I succeeded.
I failed.
The veil is boring you, Harper, and you're
Mm-hmm.
looking for what else is around you. The first thing to notice about this room is that it smells quite bad. Byron is weirdly, he's not doing badly for himself. In fact, your understanding he's a fairly successful software engineer doing quite well, but this is a small, damp apartment with just 2 rooms in it, this one and one more, and it's low ceilinged. There's a little bit of mold on the walls. It's not a good place to live. But there is another smell underneath the sort of bio decrepit man. And it's the smell of coffee.
Gotta follow the smell.
You move into the small kitchen and you find some packets of that same coffee that's been following everything around. And if you wouldn't mind, Miranda, can you show the back of the packet handout 2, which you can all see in roll 20, and our audience following along should be able to see on the screen now. And if you wouldn't mind, Rina, why don't you read that out to our audience and just make sure everyone can hear it?
Locally grown coffee. You heard that right. Authentically grown and roasted right here in Scotland using modern hydroponics, greenhouses, and the unbelievable power of the sun. A modern Arabic coffee overflowing with fruity textures with the backdrop of a peaty fire. Every bean is handpicked by our expert farmers to create an experience unlike any other before being transferred to our roastery, where our trademarked slow roasting techniques brings out a unique flavor profile. Small batch, locally grown coffee keeps the carbon costs low and lets you experience your morning cuppa without guilt. Strength is 4 out of 5.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm gonna take a big sniff because sometimes you can smell coffee through the bag.
Yeah, you can. This one's open. He's been drinking it. And it's the same smell as the coffee you had earlier in the shop.
Vada, there's coffee, and it's the same coffee we were drinking earlier, and I think it's the same stuff that was in the bag. And coffee, something to do with coffee.
What are you saying now? It's something to do with the coffee.
Hold up the bag. It's what we were drinking back at the cafe, and it's what we were drinking right before you went and started trying to shove miniatures in someone's mouth.
Right. What you think that the coffee is the thing that's made? I mean, I admit I went a bit loopy, and it's not normal in that, and I had a moment of clarity in that, and I'd like, even more reflection. Like, I'm really sorry I tried to hitch there, Harper, but you think the coffee is responsible for this? And I'll point over at Byron's like half caved in head.
No, maybe there's something in the coffee that makes people violent. You know, like Agent Orange or something.
Right. Asian orange now, that's a thing, like, that makes people... do you know what?
I don't know.
Marmite. Have you ever had Marmite? Makes me
No.
violent. I fucking hate Marmite. Absolutely disgusting shite. Maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe there's Marmite in the coffee. But you think there's something in the coffee?
Just as you're having this argument, you also pick up a receipt for the coffee, which if you would show handout 3 to the audience, please, Miranda. And you guys can see it in roll 20.
Oh, can I whip out one of my 2 phones, my Linux phone rather than my Apple phone?
Linux, you heathen.
And with my Linux phone, it's in our circles, it's how we say it. I'm going to immediately look at the email address because it says please contact us. So I'm going to type an email. Do you want me to put?
Why don't you type an email to them, Newman, player Newman?
Player Newman, person Newman.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get.
In fact, our audience can all free to as well. Anyone who has access to a phone can feel free to email that address.
I'm going to email them. Keeper, do you mind if I, just for lack of inspiration, put a shout out to the chat and say, what would you like me to include in my email? Is that okay?
Absolutely. Let's take a few minutes to do this. Sounds fun.
So people in the chat, I'm gonna email. You're obviously emailing as well. What would you like me to put in my email? I was gonna put something like, "Why did you kill Byron?" But please let me know in the chat, and I'll copy and paste across. So AHLL Packer. So Allah. AHL.
Comment has been made that it is actually a really good price for a pack of coffee. That
Mm.
this is an unrealistic hedge. Unrealistic.
It's definitely a competitive price for a pack of coffee.
Coffee at gmail.com. Was it at gmail.com? It was
It is at
gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Alpaca coffee at gmail.com. Subject Byron ?
No, 2 question marks.
2 question marks. Okay.
Mhm.
And so let's have a look. What are people asking us? Instagram Alpaca coffee is an introductory pricing. I will ask that. Is this an introductory pricing? Why did Byron have to die? Harper, is there anything you'd like me to ask?
I think you covered the salient points.
We said something about the special ingredients, right? You said something about Asian orange. Is there Asian orange in the coffee?
Agent.
Agent. Is that
Asian
where I
orange?
get my
Is
Linux phone from?
Is Asian orange really a thing?
Orange.
No.
Oh,
Do
they're
they have
beautiful.
Asian oranges?
They do. They're beautiful. Is
Harper's
there
just
Asian
off on a
orange
tangent on oranges now.
in the coffee? Right, and
You
I
were
can
actually
send that.
studying oranges for a while. You were really interested in how they all had different names, and you were looking for ways to be able to tell the different names, because you didn't really know the difference between a satsuma and a tangerine, and it's not particularly obvious if you just look at the actual orange itself.
And so anyway, then I realized that a satsuma and a tangerine were completely different things, and then I figured out how I was going to tell them apart, and then someone introduced me to clementines, and those are completely different.
Harper.
Yes.
They've only gone and freaking responded. Keep
Oh.
it. Do you mind if I copy and paste the response and put it in the chat? Because it will come up
Uh,
hopefully on the Roll20.
Just publish
on the
handout
feed.
4, please, Miranda, and everyone will be able to see what you can see.
Sneaky keeper. You sneaky keeper.
So please do read it out.
Thanks for getting in touch with Alpaca Coffee Company. We're proud to be the only coffee provider authentically growing and roasting right here in Scotland. We're experienced a deluge of requests for coffee right now. You've been added to our list to respond to once we have availability. Yours, the Alpaca team. Registered business, unit for, right, Google this, Google Maps this, Harper. Unit for Secondary Quad, Summerhurl, Edinburgh, EH91PL.
Really hard growing coffee beans in Scotland. I mean, we don't really have the correct sort of atmosphere and climate for all of it. I wonder how it's just Googling at the same time while talking about how do you grow coffee beans in Scotland. That's interesting. I should really look into it. I really bet that I could grow some really good coffee if I put my mind to it. Ooh, that's my next project.
Or quite like a bit of a competitive project. Perhaps we have a coffee bean growing competition.
Ooh, yes. I bet I make better coffee than you.
Do you know what? I bet I make. Do you know who loves a bloody great coffee? Byron likes it.
Except he doesn't anymore. Okay,
Right.
so I've Googled the address keeper.
Yes.
Can I message Clara saying,
Yeah.
Byron's not
Weirdly,
well?
Clara doesn't respond when you message her. Neither does Eddie.
Harper, they're not answering the messages.
Oh, they're probably busy with things. Maybe they're drinking more coffee. We should go find them. Where were they going? Oh, they were going to look for Claire, weren't they? So we could go find Claire. But what are we going to do about the body?
I forgot
there was a body there.
Harper, how would you feel about just facing the wall for a quick moment?
Staring contest? I can do staring contests.
Ideal. Keeper, I'm going to run into the bathroom. I'm assuming that there is some kind of small towel /flannel.
No.
Bugger. I am going to get a pair of Byron's pants or socks from a nearby drawer.
Okay.
I am going to just run them under the tap quickly. I'm going over to Byron's neck, where clearly my fingerprints are in his blood, and just wipe them across. I'm pals with Byron, so I'm okay with my DNA being in this place, but I just want to smear that across. And then I'm going to put that pair of pants, that bloodied pair of pants, in my pocket, because I will dispose of them later.
Wow. The harsh neon lights are almost blinding this late at night as you sit in a police interrogation cell. You called 999 like you were supposed to, like you were told to. The police and the ambulance turned up. The police were holding cups of coffee with little alpacas on them. You remember that? But then they arrested you and Eddie, and they dragged you down to Leith Police Station, where they made you wait in this interrogation room with its blinding neon lights for an hour. Finally, the door opens, and a man in a very nice suit walks in. Sits down and says, "Your name is Karla Nogacz.
That's correct.
We have you down here for forced entry, assault, and we're a little bit confused as to the murder. Did you do that? Did your accomplice do that? How did that happen?"
I would like to exercise my right of representation. I believe you have to provide me with a solicitor if I am to answer questions.
Oh, absolutely, we do. Yes, only you can do that if you so want. Uh, it'll take time. You'll be here all night. We won't be able to get one this late. It is Saturday. You'll be in the cells all weekend, or you could just answer my questions.
I can answer the question and say that that man was dead when we got there. And have you spoken to our friend at the game shop? Have you did he not tell you that we were looking for Claire?
Your friend at the game shop. What's his name, please?
Kiefer, what's his name?
Morgan King.
It is Morgan. Morgan at the game shop. He works with
Game
Claire.
shop? Claire. And Claire is.
Claire works at the game shop and lives in the house that we're in. Why?
She's one of the residents of this.
One of
There are 9 registered um, occupants of that house. One of the yes, here it is Claire Hannah.
That's her. Yes.
Okay. And do you think she was in the residence?
Well, that's what we were looking for. That's why we went there. When we got to the residence, the
So
door.
why did you kill the guy?
So we didn't. The man was dead when we got there. Did you not talk to the other man, Simon?
Don't lie to me! He slams his hand down on the table. And you notice that the coffee he's drinking, just swirling up, smells just like all the other coffees. It's weird. It must be getting really popular.
It does. I mean, it's just a coincidence. It's just a popular coffee.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
There's a commotion outside, and he looks up. He's back at you. Stay here. He gets up, opens the door, pulls it closed behind him. But it gets caught in something just as it starts to close, and it's just lying very slightly open. You hear a lot of noise going on outside.
Does the room have a little window that I can poke my head through just to see
Yeah, it's
before I
covered by
open the
like a
door?
metal grate.
Is the coast clear? I don't want to open the door into a bunch of other coppers.
Well, yeah, it looks like the corridor's fairly empty. But as you were saying that, sticking his head out of the room beside yours is Eddie. Eddie, they hadn't gotten to you yet. You've just been sat in a room for an hour. You're kind of bored. You're checking.
Eddie,
Yeah.
come over here.
Is it all sorted? We good to go?
Oh, they think we did it. They think we killed him.
What?
Yeah. They're
What do you
accusing us of
mean?
murder.
What the hell? We were there 2 seconds.
I know. There's something going on. There's some conspiracy here. And do you know what? If the coppers are in on it as well, then we're the only ones that know the truth, or at least we've got to get out of here.
Are we being charged with anything, or have they?
Well,
they
they've
haven't arrested us, have
arrested us. They've arrested us for the murder, assault, and breaking forced entry. I mean, we are under arrest. We could stay here, but they're gonna
There
frame
is
us.
the sound of violent fighting happening nearby. There's screaming, there's shouting. You hear the sound of a pistol being fired.
That is a sign. That's our sign to get out. No guns. No, we leave. We leave now.
Eddie's kind of torn because he's a bit like he doesn't want to flee after being arrested, but yeah, that shot's rattled him. He wants to at least sort of see what's maybe going on. He's like, just hold on, Clara, and he wants to sort of just see what the commotion is.
Okay. I can imagine you taking a stealthy approach to this, and I can imagine you taking more of a, I guess, more of a trying to spot hit it. No, I think it's going to be a stealth roll.
Okay.
Unless you can tell me a different way in which basically you're in a corridor. At one end, there's an awful lot of shouts on violence and things. Unless you can give me another way of doing it, it's going to be a stealth roll.
No, I think that's fair. I think he'd go to the end of the corridor and just maybe do a sneak peek around the corner and hope he didn't get spotted. So let's all wait for this to go badly. That's a fail. 69 over 20.
Nice.
69, dude.
All right.
Oops.
A policeman comes barreling into you and swings at your face. Give me a brawl.
Oh, okay. That's a massive fail as well. 76 over 50.
He is going to do 1d3 plus 1d4 to you.
Oh my word.
He's going to do 3 damage to you as he just clocks you. And it's right in the kidneys. That's a really sore place to get punched. And now, Clara, your Eddie is now fighting with a much smaller than him police officer at the end of this corridor, just beside the exit out of there. You could just run past him and get out of the building if you wanted.
I can't leave, Eddie. I've left too many people before. This is no. But I know my police crime procedurals, and I know that officers in Police Scotland carry a taser. And I know where the taser is located on this policeman. Can I run up to him, grab the taser, tase him, grab Eddie, and run off?
Okay, so now
This is a maneuver.
lesson. No, this is a lesson to everybody that plays Call of Cthulhu or any other role-playing game. If you do not want someone to fail as a keeper, you can just say yes. You can just say, you know what? Yes, you do. That's really cool. I love it. You don't have to make them roll. Yes, you can. I love it. Right. So Ed's fighting with this guy, and they just pull out the taser and you stab it into him. Now, here's what I will make happen, which is I'm going to make Ed make a dex roll because he's presently holding on to the person getting tased.
I was going to say.
And I know how electricity works.
Oh, no. 78 over 35.
And that is why we let the first thing happen to let the second thing happen. So both the officer and Eddie drop to the floor, shaking because they are being tased. What do you do, Clara?
I think I'm spotting Eddie where it is. I think I'm going to have to stop the tasing to allow them to release. And as the policeman's probably on the floor, maybe just try and push him backwards I grab
Good,
Eddie
good.
and run.
All right, Eddie, give me a con roll to see how well you stabilize yourself here.
Oh, that's a hard success.
Nice. So yeah, that was horrifying. I'll take 1 hit point loss for it, but you are up and out of there with your hair standing on end.
I'm a beard. Standing on edge.
Yeah, a little bit fried, a little bit fried, a little bit confused, not really sure where you are, but you are running, and that is what you know. And you manage to recover, get a proper look at your phone for the first time in a while, Clara, and you have so many messages on the WhatsApp group from, well, first of all, there's like 4 or 5 from Vera, and then there's like 20 from Harper, most asking you where you are, but there's a couple in the middle that are talking about oranges for some reason, and then a whole bunch more asking you where you are, telling you that they have gone to. Where are you guys?
We would have
I-
gone looking for Claire.
I think we
because
went
the
to.
last thing we know is that they were going to Claire's apartment.
Yeah, so actually, so there's text saying that you've gone to Claire's apartment. There's text saying, "Hey, why are there police at Claire's apartment?" And then there's text saying, "Hey, we're at Claire's apartment. Where are you?" And then where did you go after the police were there?
What time of day is it?
It's like midnight.
Oh, okay.
We
Maybe we should
can
all
have,
meet at your place, Vada.
well, we've got this address, and if we can't find him, we got to find out what happened to Byron. We can't just like
So you want to go check out the
fucking.
coffee place at midnight? Okay.
Well, what are we going to do? Like to get a good night's sleep? I've been drinking
That's
coffee
true.
all day. That's outrageous.
It's very good coffee, though. Okay, so
It's very
so
good
so
coffee.
we can give them the address and tell them to meet us there, and then maybe
Right.
do we have to break in? Are we going to break in? Well, I guess we've already are already on the hook for one crime today. What's a little light breaking and entering? So, in the scale of things, it's not as bad as the murder.
We didn't murder anybody. I just want to make that like perfectly clear on the record. We didn't murder anybody. We
I
tried
think
to save a life.
at this point in time, your phone comes back and Clara texts back. And why don't we say video calls you so you can all get involved in what you
Oh,
do
nice.
next? It is late at night. You're all feeling very, very tired.
Clara, where the hell have you been?
We just left the police station, and don't tell anybody that we've just done that. I've got Eddie with
Don't
me.
tell anybody we killed Byron. This is outrageous.
We
What?
didn't, Byron.
What?
Well, no.
Byron's
Harper,
dead?
you speak. You chat to Clara. I got it. Like,
I'll give Clara a very rapid, no pauses for breath kind of quick rundown. uh, so and now we're trying to decide what to do next, and we're trying to decide do we go break into the coffee place, or do we go try and sleep somewhere, or and then go to the coffee place tomorrow when there's actual people there. And I'm not really sure what we should do about this, but Veda was saying we should maybe go for the coffee, and I don't know, what do you people think?
We need to lie low for a period of time, and we need to just get off the streets. Harper,
let's do it at the coffee place.
Okay,
You all have homes in the nearby area, just
Yes.
for clarity.
Eddie and
You all
Eddie and
live-
my names are now on police files. That's where they'll look
Let's
for
go to
us.
Veda's. Let's go to
No,
Veda's.
we're not.
We've got
No, no. I
we've got
don't
a
like
nice-
people coming to
nicer
my
place
house.
meeting.
It's
That's
like
fine.
it's my.
It'll be fine.
No,
we know
I
where
don't
Morgan
like.
is?
I don't
go
want
to
people coming to my house. It's my space.
That doesn't
Why-
exist anymore. Okay, or does it
Wha-
exist? I don't know. I haven't used it since I'm
Not
I'm
like what the fuck? No, it's like like I mean, yes, I have my space. Of course I do, because I'm
That's
a
what
fucking
old people
person.
use.
Well, how dare you? But what like right? If you lot come to my house, there are fucking rules. Do you hear?
Well, let's get to your place first, and then we'll go over the rules. I'm
We'll
gonna
go over
forget
the
them by the
rules.
time we get there anyway if we do them right now.
Shit! I'm literally in the background of the voice call, just going shit. Shit! I don't want you coming to my fucking house. Shit!
I have
So
another
we're all meeting
suggestion.
at Veda's.
I have another suggestion. Why don't we head away from all of these places, regroup, and discuss in person? Let's head to the docks. We know the docks are there. The police won't be at the docks, and we can discuss where we're going to go from there.
I like it. I don't live at the docks. This is a great idea.
Can I suggest somewhere?
Yes.
Please.
There's a great pub. It's called the Boundary Bar. It stands halfway between Leith and Edinburgh and used to delineate this place between Leith and Edinburgh, half of the bars in Leith and half of the bars in Edinburgh. This is important because Leith's licensing laws used to let them sell beer half an hour later than Edinburgh's licensing laws. So they were able to sell beer half an hour later than the other bars in Edinburgh.
Can one of us
you-
have said that as if we know that that's a thing?
Yes, Harper just told you all of that, and it's halfway
Yes.
between Leith Police Station and the house, so
I
it's
think
the
it's a very
perfect
good
place.
idea.
And
Brilliant.
it's like 50 meters that way, so I think it's a great place for you to go.
Let's go there, and then if the police find us, all we need to do is step into the Edinburgh half of the pub, and they can't get us.
Or 50 meters
don't
that way,
think
we
that's how
go
that
and crash
works.
at Hedge's house and hide in there.
Okay, so pub, I could use a drink. Could I use a drink? I don't know. Can you have
Wait.
alcohol after coffee? I wonder what the effects are of having alcohol with coffee. Huh.
Just have an espresso martini, and then you balance in the two.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Let's go.
Yep.
the
Go to
pub.
the pub.
Can we actually bring real world Hedge into this scenario if we
Don't ask him. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Barman,
I
have you
think
ever heard of a man called Hedge?
So I
And what
think
would his phone number be?
I think what
Excellent,
happens
excellent.
if you go to my home, that's where Vada lives.
That's fantastic.
Nobody's
Yeah.
allowed in my fucking house.
Well, that's why we're at the pub.
You are at the pub. You all have various craft IPAs that are especially imported from various locations, slightly more expensive than they really should be.
Right.
Working
You
out how
two.
much per ounce that is while everyone's talking.
What the fuck? What are you doing at the police station now? Like, who goes to the police station
But
I was
people
of
who
their
get
own
arrested-
volition? What?
People who get
What?
arrested go to the
What's
police
getting
station.
arrested for?
A murder
Murder.
I did not commit.
Did you kill Byron, you fucking bastard?
No, Simon was his name. I think Simon. Stephen.
Simon killed Byron.
He was in Claire's house. We
Shit.
got there and he was dead. The police. I called the police because that's what you do, and then I got arrested.
There was another guy there. He was like a junkie. He jumped on me. We had to fight him off. He probably killed Simon, but I mean, the police never even. I mean, Clara, did they mention him? Like, did they even say
Wait, what?
anything?
Simon's dead.
Probably a good thing.
Simon's
to
dead.
tell the police.
Simon's the dead guy, yeah.
And what was the junkie's name?
We didn't get his name. There wasn't really enough
Right.
time to sort of. Well, I was making small talk with him, but I didn't ask his name. But we didn't find Claire either. They didn't say what's going on with Claire.
So we don't know where Claire is. There's a dead person called Simon. And there was a junkie that was making small talk with Eddie Murphy.
But he was violent, and Byron.
Eddie
was
Murphy
violent,
was violent.
and the people in the shop were violent, and the cops, they were violent as well. They started kicking the shit out of each other in the
That coffee
station.
was
Coffee?
everywhere in the house. The coffee. Was
What, more
everywhere in
than
the house,
normal?
the police station. Coffee's everywhere.
Oh come on, it's not coffee. Come on.
No,
The
I'm
alpaca
just saying
coffee.
It was everywhere.
It was in Byron's place too.
Clara,
See, I
you
told
say
there's
that.
something in the
It was.
coffee.
You say that I recognize this, a little bit of self-reflection. I lost my shit earlier. It's been years since I stuffed a submarine down someone's mouth, the space marine, down the throat like that, and tried to choke him out. It was like Harper made me see the light. It was the coffee. There's something in there.
I showed it to the junkie and he's like, it's not the coffee. And come on, I mean, if there's one person you can believe, it's somebody who's high on a substance. They
Maybe
always tell the
just-
truth.
On the coffee. It's
Maybe
high
he
on the
just didn't want
coffee.
you taking his coffee.
Harper, tell him about the oranges.
So, I don't know. There's like they could have put something in the coffee, like Agent Orange or something. I read an article
Something
on
in the
Wikipedia about that
coffee.
once, and
Right.
yeah. So there could be something in the coffee, or maybe it was in MK Ultra. I always get those two mixed up. I don't know, but they could have put something in the coffee, and then that makes people violent. I mean,
Right. Now,
ingesting
Go-
things like you ingest things, and it makes
Ingesting Agent
changes in the-
Orange will just make you dead, not violent.
right, Clara, Marmite.
Now that I could understand.
Right.
Actually, no,
Now,
I don't think Clara can. I don't think Marmite's made it to Ukraine.
Ah,
I think
okay.
Clara's just going to look at you blankly.
Byron was drinking the coffee. He was now, and Harper's right. We found loads of it in his house. We emailed him, and we found an address for the coffee people. Now, Eddie Murphy is saying, Eddie, you were saying about the coffee as well now.
I'm just saying it was everywhere. It was the police were drinking it. It was at Claire's house. There was like bags of it. You're saying
What's
it was
that
at Byron's
famous
house.
Occam's razor, Sherlock Holmes thing? Like, if you're finding coffee everywhere, coffee's to blame for the problem.
Exactly it.
Right.
Wait,
Clara,
wait.
you need
What
to get
coffee
your
are
head
they
in the
serving
game.
here? Are they
What?
serving the coffee here in this pub? When it's sort of
No.
ticket. No.
Let's look all the facts on the table, and Clara's going to reach into her bag, pull out the notebook. The taser's probably going to clatter onto the floor out of her pocket, and she'll put it back into
Stole
her
the
coat.
taser.
I'm going to let go of the taser. My fingerprints are all over it.
Okay.
You want me to wipe that down with the sock I've got in my pocket?
I'm
I
pretty
feel
sure
like
it was a
this
pair of
is
pants. For clarity, it was a pair of pants. It's a pair of bloody,
pair of pants.
bl-
Apologies.
a pair of bloody boys' pants.
Why have you got a
Which
pair
I've just
of
remembered means
pants in your
different
pocket?
things to you than it does to me.
Yeah,
That makes
we're
more
meaning,
sense
we
now.
mean,
Okay.
we mean underwear.
Sorry, pants is
Okay.
underwear. Yeah. Sorry, chat as well, because someone in the chat said that's a big pair of pants, a big pocket. But what he meant was sorry, underwear.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've
not
got it now.
not.
I've got it now.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So coffee is doing things, and Harper has pulled a Rubik's cube out of her bag at this point, and she's quickly solving the cube while she's talking. She's staring very intently at the Rubik's cube. So if there's coffee and everywhere, then there has to be a link between the coffee, and there has to be a link between the coffee and the people. And so we should probably go talk to the coffee people. Probably need some sleep first, and we probably shouldn't drink the coffee in the morning either. That would probably be a very bad idea. But there has to be something, right? Holds up a finished Rubik's cube.
That's very impressive there, Harper. Very good now. Very impressive. Clara, I don't know how you not immediately jump into these illusions, these grand designs the rest of us just seem to naturally believe in. The coffee here is the clear link. These
must
police
be.
officers, what are they drinking all night when they're on shift?
Okay, so they did happen to be drinking coffee, and I think the cups had a little
it-
picture of some sort of llama or.
Wait.
Coffee.
The lammer. The lammer. Eddie Murphy, the lammer.
Alpaca. There's a
It was-
difference between llamas and alpacas. And Harper's going off into a spiel about the difference between llamas and alpacas.
Okay, 3 hours later, it's an alpaca.
So it's
An
the
alpaca.
alpaca. Look, you think it's the coffee. It is a lead that we have. I have to admit, we should go and investigate just to prove that it's not the coffee.
Well, what is there another lead, Clara?
Well, look. Every single person we have encountered has been violent. The people playing the war games, well, that is a violent action. That's a violent game. Police brutality is a well-known thing. That's a violent thing. Byron, he was playing the game that we had, but his actions in the game, well, they could be construed as maybe antagonistic violence. I think there's an inherent violence that's circulating around this town that's somehow causing people to become more violent, some sort of echo chamber of violence that's spreading around Leith. I mean,
A mass
that's all
hysteria?
I've got to go on, but it makes more sense than coffee.
Are you trying to blame the Space Marines for this, you fucking Looney Tune? What are you talking about, the games? We've all played games. We all play games every like we all spend our time there. Clara.
There's been 2 murders, and there was coffee with llamas and alpacas and all sorts of things all at once. And what was I thinking about? Yes, murders. There's been 2 murders with the alpaca coffee, and that can't be a coincidence because I don't believe in coincidences. I think Sherlock Holmes said that one time, or maybe it was Poirot. I'm not quite sure. I read it at one point. But anyway, there can't be a coincidence that there was llama coffee, alpaca coffee, whatever coffee. Yes, alpaca coffee. 2 murders. That has to be a thing.
Right. And the behaviours. We can't ignore the behaviours. I think Harper, you're onto this now. You mentioned your MK Ultras earlier. There's something going on here. Someone's putting something in the coffee. Whether it's ground down mushrooms and that like everybody's having them hallucinations and shit, or whatever it is. Like I'm telling you, Clara, for someone who studies algorithms and patterns and that, I like what I'm seeing here. Without doubt, is a pattern.
Right. I have one more question for the investigators this evening, which is after you have a couple of pints and get just a little sozzled, where do you stay?
Vada.
Vader's
Raiders.
Shit! I don't want you in my house. Shit, there are rules.
They can't go back to their houses, and and yours is the closest, and we probably don't want to be walking all over the place. So, makes most sense to me personally.
Right, you got like rule number 1. I've got a housemate called Hedge. You don't touch his
No, you
food.
don't.
Do you understand? He'll get very shitty about it.
So you come back, you walk out of the boundary bar, and Vada leads you down a street that you've never been down before. It's a little alleyway. You come out of it, and from busy Leith, where it's loud and full of people, it's a Saturday night, it's a Friday night, sorry, everyone's having fun. You just kind of go over this very light hill, and you're in a super quiet street. Beautiful colony flats, probably built 200 years ago, going down one side of the street, and these old little flats on the other side. Veda opens the door, leads you up this small staircase, and lets you into a beautiful but fairly small flat.
Shoes off. Rule number 1.
It is very neat and tidy, and everything has a place. Um, there's only 2 rooms. There's a bedroom and a living room, but the living room probably has a couple of sofas on it, so she can just about accommodate everyone. Is there
Right.
anything else specifically about this flat you want to tell us, Veda?
How realistic is this flat to have? You know, I mean, I'm leaning into the sense it's relatively luxurious for the small size that it is. It's like small place kind of luxury.
Yeah, I think it is very much a small but lovely flat. Like you have everything is pretty advanced and it's all interconnected. So you have smart lights, smartphones, smart TV. It all connects nicely together. You can tell the lights what to do. They change color. Just generally very technologically advanced and interesting. There's an awful lot of books.
Yeah. Okay. So we come in, and as I kind of say, shoes off. I think I'll just kind of say, try not to touch anything or mess anything up, but obviously make yourself at home. And then I'm going to clap twice, and the lights come on, and it's just like this blended chill kind of light that kind of changes atmosphere across the room. And then I'll just say, Alexa, play Max Richter's recomposition of the Four Seasons, please. And Alexa has like programmed to say something really lovely back before they actually kind of play anything.
Of course, Veda. And also, I've set the bath temperature to 65 degrees.
Aye, you're a beauty. Right, you lot, sit down, sit still. If you need anything, raise your hand or ask.
Harper has already sat down on the couch and is counting how long it takes between each of the light changes.
Clara,
Veda,
can I help you there?
can I have the Wi-Fi password?
I, it's actually like it's not a recommended thing to share your Wi-Fi password. Can I ask why you'd like to use it and what sites you want to visit?
Well, I want to have a little look at the news and see whether we've got any more reports. How widespread is this violence that's been hitting? Is it just us? Is it just Leith? Is it Edinburgh too? Is it elsewhere in Scotland? Is it the whole of the UK? Is it the whole of Europe?
I think because Veda's got this bloodied pair of pants in her pocket that she desperately wants to get rid of, she will kind of say, right, Clara, you see behind the mini palm tree there? You'll find the router there. That's where you'll find the password. You'll move the router to see the password. Move it back, please, so it's exactly where it was.
Okay.
Veda's gonna kind of disappear to the cleaning cupboard and to kind of get the kind of oven cleaner and things to see how much genetic damage she can do.
I mean, yeah, I suppose, yeah. The oven cleaner will destroy everything it touches. Okay, yeah, and is there anything else you want to accomplish before the next morning party? Eddie?
Eddie's going to be sort of looking on Twitter just to see what's going on and maybe.
Twitter, no one uses that hell site anymore.
Bots.
Yeah.
Bots all the way down.
You've just got a load of fake women wanting to follow you, and that's about it.
Yeah,
He's usually
so
on
you're,
Blue Skies looking at the latest news anyway, seeing what's
yeah,
going on.
nothing much is standing out. There's no national headlines that link any sort of violence at all. Lots of talk about when the election's going to be. It just goes on and on and on and on forever. Yes, Veda.
After kind of sinking this pair of pants into a bowl of oven cleaner and really kind of molding it in with a pair of plastic gloves, I think when I finally come out and probably smell of like cleaning liquids, I'll come out, sit down, and I'm going to get my laptop at the little table I've put to the side where I would usually drink a coffee. I push the coffee to the side. I'm going to Google I'm going to basically not Google. I'm going to research as much as I can the company, Alpaca
Sure.
Coffee.
You find an Instagram.
Oh, okay.
If anyone wants to go to Alpaca Coffee on Instagram, they can find it.
I'm just doing it now. Search. Alpaca Coffee.
There's a new story.
Okay, so as you're all just looking it up, I will narrate. Eventually, you all find a place to sleep, and you manage to get yourselves to sleep. No news. It's very, very quiet, and you manage to pass the night away. It is Saturday morning. It's about 7:30 in the morning. It's fairly early. And Veda, you have not had a good night's sleep because there are people in your home and you don't like it. And when you wake up, they are still in your home and you don't like it. Uh, you are all free to pop back to your own homes and get changed, to get ready and meet up. Maybe you decide to meet somewhere. What is your plan for the day, investigators?
Coffee place, right?
Go on then.
Yeah.
Coffee place.
I will have shared the Instagram findings with them as well, just in terms of showing them the image of the really kind of the Brobat equipment, modern technology using ancient wisdom for the best coffee around. Showing them a picture of the building so we know exactly where we're going. Roasted locally right here in central Edinburgh, and obviously communicate that that's the address that Harper and I found. And the bag of coffee, which I think we've all potentially seen at this point, but also just kind of, I suppose, that harrowing reality that we are dealing with a real company. This exists. This isn't some bizarre thing. This is these are real people. And when we get there, we're probably going to have to talk to a real person.
Ancient wisdom. I wonder what kind of ancient wisdom they use. How do you put ancient wisdom into a coffee?
Well, it's been around a while, hasn't it? We've been making
But
coffee
yes.
since.
I like the idea that when you ask that, you then open your phone, you go and you ask ChatGPT, how do you put ancient wisdom in a coffee?
It turns out there's some kind of liqueur or something called ancient wisdom.
Well, let's ask.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you put ancient wisdom
Wisdom in coffee.
in coffee?
Maybe that's what they were trying to get out of Byron's head. A little bit of wisdom.
Infusing coffee with ancient wisdom is more about metaphorical than literal incorporation. There we go. Nice to know the answer. Right, you make your way to Summer Hall, which is in South Edinburgh. It is probably a long walk or a bus ride away, but you all make your way over there. And when you arrive, it's this beautiful old building, which Harper is no doubt explaining to you in detail. Used to be the veterinary school, but it was eventually shut down and moved. But the old building was saved from ruin, and it was turned into one of these really interesting art spaces. So there's all sorts of different people using it for all sorts of different things. A lot of small businesses use some of the small space. There's a couple of bars, coffee shops inside, as well as just a whole lot of really interesting, odd, and esoteric performance spaces. It's just one of these places that does everything, and it's weirdly shaped, and because it's been reconfigured so many times, the corridors are almost like an MC Escher painting, and you get a bit lost. And it says you have to get to Unit 4, but not in the main quad. It's in the secondary quad, which you have to go through the main quad, then through a small door, then round a corner to get round the back of something to find the secondary quad, which you do. And eventually, you find Unit 4. And it looks empty. There's just a door, and it's dark inside, and there doesn't appear to be anyone there.
You think we should like knock, or did you think we just mosey on in?
The knocking didn't work last time we tried.
So, hello.
Oh shit! How
Hi.
you doing?
Hey. Are you all here to buy some of my croissant? And a woman has poked her head out from the next unit. She's smiling and waving at you all. Hiya! Bonjour! Do you like French cuisine? I have. This is my patisserie.
Oh.
I can.
Can I push Eddie forward?
Yeah. Hi. That sounds great. What you got?
Croissant, pain au chocolat. What sort of patisserie do you like?
Anything. He's quite a
Oh.
he's quite a gourmand. So he's like, yeah, I'll take a pain au chocolat. I'll take guys. What do you want? I'm buying.
I'll have a croissant.
Okay.
Do you
Pain au
go?
raisin?
Do you have any like the beignets? They like the New Orleansian donuts.
You know, actually, I was just experimenting with the oven and I produced these, and she opens up to whatever the hell that is.
Nice. Freaking delicious.
Grand.
Mhm.
Didn't even need a luck roll. Brilliant. Harper, what are you having?
Beignets. Beignets sound good. I've never had a beignet.
Oh, yeah.
Right. These ones are sprinkled in coffee. Jokes.
Yeah.
Don't joke about such things.
So, as I take it, she's going to be preparing these pages
yeah.
for us. So I'll say, Eddie's going to say, so the coffee place next door, are they open? Can we buy some
Oh,
coffee today?
is it a coffee place? Huh. No, it's almost never open, really.
Ah,
There's a guy that comes and goes occasionally, but yeah, no, don't see a lot of action over there. It's mostly closed.
ah,
Do you happen to know the name of the guy? Like, because we're big fans of his coffee. It's had quite an impact on our lives of recent, and we'd like to thank him in person.
You know, I don't actually. Weird that.
Tis
No,
weird.
I've got a picture of him on my phone. Though, 1 second. And she shows you, if you all pop to the roll 20, I've just revealed some faces, and one of them, the top left, is the man who is apparently who you're looking for. He is a short, speckled man in a black cap with stubble but no beard.
do you know his name at all?
Sorry, no, I've never really talked to him. He pops by maybe every couple of weeks to pick up the mail, but he doesn't really use it, I'm afraid.
Ah,
But it goes in there, does he now? In this unit here.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. I think I assume so. That's his unit.
what kind of coffee
Well,
do you serve?
Oh, I import from France. Would you like to buy some coffee?
Yeah, if it's French,
Oh.
sure.
And she serves you a lovely French brewed coffee that does not give you any feelings of violence whatsoever.
Perfect.
Glad it's not all coffee, because it would be really hard to give up my morning coffee and my afternoon coffee and the 2 cups of coffee I have before bed.
So, do you know anybody else here who works on the like the buildings in the quads?
Yeah, of course. This place is full of people. I speak to some of them, I guess. There's an axe throwing place around the corner, and then there's obviously the bar, and then there's Barney's. He's lovely. He makes really nice beers. What sort of thing are you looking for?
Well, just to like look. Well, like we said, we've come to pay a bit of like customer fan love to your coffee man here. Yeah, you know his coffee has a bit of a kick. Which one was the axe throwing place? Just out of curiosity.
She points at one of the other units.
Aye, great. I'll just bank that. Thank you very much. Now, right. No, we just thought we'd knock on and wait because didn't Jimmy, and I'll just point at Eddie. Didn't you say that we had a message that we were to meet the coffee man here?
Yeah, he said just knock and he might be in there already. So he said, just
Sarah,
maybe
you
go
had a
on in.
text. I'm pointing at Harper. Didn't you? Just saying like walk in and he's probably like in there being busy and stuff.
This will be a fast talk.
I
I'm
haven't
going
even
along
got
with
to
this.
Clara's new name.
Is that from me as well? If I'm going along with it.
No. This is all on Newman.
He said he might not be able to hear us over all the coffee.
Success, 33 over 35. Can I turn to Clara lastly then and say, Fandango Montague, didn't you say that we should, like, just help ourselves to whatever we wanted because we're basically family?
Absolutely, that is exactly what I said.
She's
Sure.
she's just nodding. She's a bit confused by all of this, but she just generally believes you and doesn't seem to really care and turns back to doing what she's done now that you've given her money. Eddie, that was expensive. That was Central Parisian tourist pricing. That wasn't the sort of pricing that you expect a Parisian. Yeah.
I mean, they're my friends, so why not? It's fine.
Okay, but you just spent £35 on
Ooh.
patisseries.
It'd be
That
good.
is, oh, absolutely
Admittedly,
stoned.
5 and 5 coffees, and Harper's coffee was a double. So,
Are they nice pastries at least?
oh God, yes,
Perfect.
yeah.
That
Okay.
softens the blow a bit.
Okay, you step up and try the door, Eddie, but it is locked.
How is it locked? Is it padlock or is it just like a
It's a Yale lock.
lock? Okay.
Step
I knew I
aside.
should have taken that locksmith class.
I learned something from watching a fair number of crimes. There's a little thing I learned from watching Newkach in 2015, and I was going to try and pick the lock.
Brilliant. Because no one's paying attention to you and you have time, I will give you a bonus die on this, and you will get in regardless. However, there will be consequences to failure.
Can I just observe, just for the sake of, like, I'm interested because I know a thing or two about picking a lock, but I just want to watch how Clara does it.
Clara is better at this than you by quite a way.
I absolutely don't confirm that out loud at all.
No, it takes her 15 seconds to spring this thing.
I'll comment on 3 mistakes.
Just like that. And that is a 24 under 41 with my bonus dice.
Brilliant. Okay, and you slip into this office, all 4 of you. And it's empty.
Is there a
There's
coffee machine?
no.
Is there a computer?
You look through the drawers of the abandoned desk, and the only thing you find is a broken iPad with a cracked screen. It doesn't turn on when you press the button. There's a little bit of mail on the floor by the door, addressed to a Dougal McCain, and a couple more bits addressed to the Alpaca Coffee Company Limited.
I know that name.
But that's it.
I Newman know that name.
So, if there's mail, that means they used to be here at least. Do you think maybe they figured out their coffee was making people violent and then they decided to jump ship? Just disappear.
But
I mean,
maybe
looks
you
like
know
it's been a while.
they've been gone a while. But Harper, you were saying about like people putting stuff in the coffee and that. Maybe. I think like those Colombian drug lords and things, they used to like send stuff around, like pretending it to be coffee and stuff like that. So maybe this is like a bit of a front. You know what I mean? Not a real business.
What, like they were putting cocaine in the coffee? That would explain.
Right. Yeah, but like super fucking
Super
You know,
cocaine.
Twiglet cocaine. Real hyper shit.
Marmite cocaine.
Right. Fucking Marmite cocaine. Bastards.
This iPad that I found, Eddie's. Is there a charger anywhere nearby? He's going to look for a charger to see if maybe he can just try and get, if it's maybe power is right, it's not turning on.
No. But you've got lightning charges at home for sure.
Okay, I'm going to stash the iPad then.
Oh, you definitely take it with us.
Keep it with us, yeah.
And the other thing of note in the room is the letters, which appear to be just boring bills.
Apart from the Dougal McCain name, are there any other significant names or addresses or anything that relates to coffee or other ingredients?
Some of them are sent to the Alpaca Coffee Company, but it would take time to go through them.
Can I take them?
Yeah.
Or no, actually, I'll look to the others and say, "Do you think we need to go through the mail?"
We might as well take it. I mean, just in case.
Right.
I mean, it looks boring though.
Right.
You can have them.
Right. And I will.
Okay. And the four of you just walk away from the beautiful patisserie, away from this weird abandoned office, holding a broken iPad and a stack of mail. That's a really good point for us to take a short break. Miranda, can we throw up a 2-minute break? Or like an OBS back in a second thing onto the Twitch, and we will all be back in about 3. And welcome back to Alpaca and the Coffee. Our investigators have just visited Summer Hall, where they are definitely making progress in their investigations. They have retreated back to Vada's flat, which Vada objected to, complained about, refused, outright said not over my dead body, and yet somehow they're all back there nonetheless. Vada has applied you with a lightning charger, Eddie, and you have a whole bunch of mail to look through too. But it's still not charging, Eddie, even with the lightning charger.
Okay. With Eddie being a computer nerd and all that, and a computer programmer, would he be able to use some of his skills to sort of see what's diagnose the problem, try and fix
Sure. Give me. Is it electrical repair you have?
it? He's got we've got 40 in that. We can give that a go. And that's a success. Just about 35 over 40.
Yeah, you it's Veda has all various bits and pieces, and you actually get the soldering iron, you pull out the back, and you give a little bit of a tap, and you quickly get it charging again. This thing flicks on, and you are, yeah, the battery was dead, but now you're charging it, and now it seems to be working. There was just a loose wire inside of it. The screen is still cracked, which means it's hard to read, but it wouldn't be too difficult to now pull the information off or even read through it on here. Meanwhile, Veda, you are going through these bills.
Hmm.
It looks like that's what they are. They're bills. They're all sorts of electrical bills, gas bills, the various bills associated with starting up a small company. There's some registration bills and some signing off of things and the like. It's all very routine and uninteresting in some ways.
But there's no names. There's nothing that stands out, should I say, unusually.
Um, I think this is we'll call this a library use role. Does anyone else help working this with you?
I'm quite possibly
Harper's
sitting
giving
there
me a
reading it out
strong
loud.
no.
I probably sat at that small coffee table reading it aloud. So if anybody wanted to listen in, they're very welcome to.
I think Clara wants to look in. As I said, Clara still is not convinced about this coffee being the thing. And you know what? Looking at these bills to prove that everything's normal, sure, why not? Happy to give a hand.
Sure. Why don't the two of you give me library use rolls? At the same time, Harper.
Can I use luck, please?
Yeah, sure.
I'll use 2 points
So,
of luck to make it a success.
It's not hard. There are two electrical bills. One is for the address that he was at, Unit 4 Summer Hall. Another is a long stream of numbers. It doesn't have an address, it just has a long stream of numbers, which is a little odd. Maybe if you went online and started searching, you could figure out what on earth that could mean.
Yeah, do I just instinctually, being like a programmer, someone who's programmed my own language as well, do I see any kind of just initial pattern in there, or do I need to also go online and kind of process it?
The way it is numbered, it's some kind of ID. So it's probably the ID. It's of somewhere. So when you're making databases, there's information that is for customers, for queries, and there's information that's a bit more back end. This is a number in a database somewhere that probably corresponds to something, but for whatever reason you're being given that one rather than the normal one.
Can I do that? But sorry, can I also ask, if it's been a night, can I get a hit point back?
Anyone who no, specifically you cannot, the other three can. Because you didn't sleep a wink because you let people into your home.
That's true. Bastards.
But the other three, if you lost hit points, can regain 1 hit point.
Excellent.
And you should reset your sanity scores as well. But yes, Eddie, you now have data to go through. Harper, are you going to help go through the data? You're not really a. I think you have some skill in that.
Let's see. Which skill would that be?
This is probably going to be computer use.
No, I've got a 5% in computer use.
A 5. Huh? I'm
I
pretty sure
could
you
shout
have.
out from across the room. It's a very like it's Vada's thing. Computer use. She'll be kind of going, Eddie, if there's anything you think you need a hand with, give us a shout. As I'm kind of looking at this serial number with Clara.
He's like, sure. Yeah, no worries. I think maybe I've got this. And he's just gonna try and get as much data as he can off the thing. He's
Sure.
looking for
Give me a computer use roll.
Sure. He's looking for like emails, bank statements, any kind of records he can, any kind of communication or correspondence. He's got
Sure.
50 over
Ed,
70.
give me an artificial intelligence roll.
Oh,
Okey-dokey.
Artificial intelligence roll.
That's a success as well. That's 42 over 70.
He's a Terminator.
Ed, this is most of the data on this iPad is extensive discussions with a large language model. And scrolling through it, it seems to just be a lot of it. With your normal successes, there's just too much data for you to get an overall understanding of what's going on. But with the sort of hour you spend scrolling through this, figuring it out, discovering it, unpacking it, you know that there is a large language model which you can talk to through this device. And the conversations he's been having with it, at least the most up-to-date ones, seem to have involved trying to get it to make sense and talking to it about ways to get rich quick. But it looks like this thing broke a while ago, and he hasn't had a discussion with it in a few months. So it looks like you've got the slightly older data. Scrolling back, you find something very weird, which is a whole bunch of pictures of old esoteric tomes in languages that you don't necessarily understand. So there's pictures of probably like 1,000, 2,000 maybe year old writings.
And that's coming from the conversations with the large language model. So that's something that the chat's given to.
No, it's the other way around. Like
Oh,
the
he's
earlier
fed it
research
into.
seems to involve this stuff, and then the more recent stuff appears to be somehow you're not sure how it's connected basically yet.
Okay.
You need to spend more time on this. You've already spent quite a few hours just to understand that much so far.
So more immediately, he's going to show the pictures that he's got at the moment of those tomes. He's going to show them to Clara, knowing that she's interested in the occult, and say,
Excellent.
Clara, what are these? Does this make any sense to you?
Well, maybe this is the ancient wisdom they're putting in their coffee. Keeper, does it make any sense to Clara?
Make an occult roll, Clara, and a computer use roll, please, from Vada, in order to try and figure out what this number is.
So,
Oh, can I push the roll?
No, all that's going to happen is this will just take you a long time.
Okay.
Clara, you are definitely welcome to push this roll.
I'm thinking I might spend the 20 luck instead.
Yeah, Clara.
Because I've not spent any luck yet. So why not?
Spend that luck, Stu. I love it.
That'll take me
Absolutely.
to 40. That'll take me to 40 luck in total. And I pass.
Okay. This is probably Old Enochian, or at least a variant of Old Enochian. You're not entirely sure which one. There's more than one. It's an old language of wizards. It predates most historical records. It's fragments, and there's a lot of them. To your understanding, they have never been translated. And it looks like there are translations underneath them,
Fantastic. I think we can
which
start
is
reading.
cool. And since you are reading and understanding it, you realize, Ed, that the translations have been afforded by artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence has translated these old, untranslatable Enochian texts. At that same time, Veda, you are really struggling to figure it out. But after a few hours of this, and most of the day, it's something that Harper says about electricity that cracks it. Harper, tell us something interesting about electricity.
Rina doesn't know anything interesting about electricity. Rina's an English professor.
Ah, sorry, electricity is one of my weird obsessions. So, weirdly, this is Harper telling you. Well, there's a few things. First of all, you have to understand that electricity in Scotland is incredibly odd, because actually, whereas Scotland produces 99.9% of its own electricity 99.9% of the time, it still is massively reliant on the very occasional imports from down south. As a result of that, even though Scotland produces 120% of its electricity needs most of the time, it actually has real problems supporting its electricity network. That means that, despite the fact that they should be incredibly profitable, its energy companies are particularly unprofitable, which leads, of course, to Scottish Water and Scottish Power being particularly odd companies. Scottish Water is one of the best companies in the world, and Scottish Power are a bunch of crooks that should all be in jail. Anyway, that's entirely true, but beside the point. Scottish Power, what they do is, if you connect a new address to them, they just give you a list of numbers, and they don't actually assign the address with your address. Or what they do is they assign the wrong address to your home when they put it into the system, because their system is so broken and outdated. So it's likely that this set of numbers is linked to some old address or some new address that's been recently connected. So we're looking for a building that has been recently connected to the network. Harper figures this out.
Right. Well, it's quite wonderful there, Harper. So the numbers mean an address. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I think so. That's what it looks like.
The numbers mean an address that's recently been hooked up to the power. Assigned the number to the address.
Yeah.
So would that be Unit 4, or would that be a different address?
Am
It's
I able
not
to-
Unit 4. There's a bill for Unit 4, but there's another bill for a building which has recently been connected. And now that you know that, you could probably figure that out with a little bit more computer use and a bit more time.
I will take that bet.
So we can take
Hard
it
success.
and then find the address based on that number. Is that through hacking Scottish Power, or would it just be generally available?
That information is probably generally available if you know where to look, but it's not obvious how you would go about it. Luckily, the Veda figures it out. But let's go back to this interesting data, because over the course of the last few hours, I think you've probably just about pieced this story together. Someone, potentially this McCain character, got a hold of a whole bunch of old Enochian, translated it, fed the translation into a basic large language model as feeder data, and then began trying to talk to this model, fed it more data to bring it up to date with what was going on in the world, and then began asking it how to make money and get rich quick. But it doesn't look like it was totally working. However, the last entry mentions the idea of buying cheap coffee, putting it through an artificial infusion process, and then selling it to locals.
That is the ancient wisdom that is being put into.
Shit. It's the ancient wisdom. Bullshit.
I mean, this Enochian is. I mean, it's old stuff, but I don't think this AI model that you're saying is quite got it right. Do the translations? Obviously, I don't realize it's untranslated stuff, but from my limited knowledge of Enochian, do you think it makes sense? Does it seem to be in the right sort of ballpark?
It's probably a binding ritual of some kind.
Yeah. So they're putting something in. So it's not the coffee. I told you it wasn't the coffee. It's what they're putting in the coffee.
Fee.
That's
And
like
also, we
saying
mentioned we said they're putting things in the coffee.
Is it ancient cocaine?
Of
It's-
course, it's the fucking coffee. You can't say it like, oh, Diet Coke's fine. It's just the fucking chemicals in it that'll kill you. It's the Diet Coke, isn't it? It's the coffee.
So the problem is that obviously a lot of these ancient wizards or people who wrote these texts and believed they were wizards, they put a lot of stuff, herbs and minerals and heavy metals that they would have ingested that would have given these fugue states that could have been interpreted as magic. So if this AI model has taken advice from these ancient crackpots, what is being put in? What is being artificially infused into these beans? You've got an
And the
address, or at
AIs.
least an idea of where they might be.
The Harper's knowledge about the numbers and the bits and the bobses and the electricity and the Scottish power companies led to a number that led now to another location, which not Unit 4.
That's got to be
Which,
where.
let's say,
That's got to be where they're actually brewing the coffee, right? Because there was no coffee in.
Well, they're
Unit
not
4.
actually, probably not actually brewing it, just mixing things into it.
Yeah.
Right, the AI wisdom, the fucking.
Yeah.
But it's going to be
you
a
know.
large power drain if they're running a coffee mill. So, do the numbers on the bills make sense? Does it look like a large amount of power being used?
yes.
Yes, it does look like a large amount of power being used. And if they're going to have a relatively sophisticated setup now, if they're operating like an AI of this standard as well, I think, be fair to say.
So we should go check it out.
Well, we got
Agreed with that
to.
one.
We got to stop it. Surely, there's 2 people dead. We got to stop it. We got to
If
shut
they're
it down.
putting things in, if they're putting things into the chemicals in there that are making people mad, lead, mercury, just to name 2, we need to get out there. I mean, I would recommend calling trading standards, but our current run-in with law enforcement has not been particularly successful.
I don't know what
Feel,
trading stands going to do about binding rituals, but I mean, we could give it a go.
I mean, their rules are already pretty archaic, but yeah.
So let's go.
Yeah.
Don't need to sit around talking about it. Come on.
Well, yeah, it took you probably the best part of the day to untangle this entire mess. So it is early evening on Saturday. Um, I assume that you ordered lunch in and you all had Thai food because I just feel like that's what the Veda would want.
They'd have spent a
And now-
considerable time tidying up after them as well.
Yeah, which takes another half hour of leaving.
Yeah.
And you head off towards an address which is surprisingly close to Ancient Robot Games. It's just walkable though, so you head down there now and you make your way into this old industrial estate, and you kind of have to move through this closed off street that's just packed full of cars. The first few rows of cars are sort of in repair, half taken apart as the nearby mechanics work on them. But you move past them, you find these old, broken down, rusted cars that were basically being scavenged for parts, and then one's a burnt out wreck. You go past that and you move away from modern, beautiful Leith into these dark, smelly, rotten streets. The buildings around you are no longer neat and beautiful. Instead, you've got a mismatch of 70s brutalist architecture over there, ancient warehouses built into the side of an old railroad bridge, sandstone arches, and then you've got modern factories built in the side of the road. The roads themselves off at odd angles, fences around multiple things. The whole place is just a mishmash of age, some of them probably hundreds of years old. And it just smells bad. Just a mixture of so many things happening in the same place. And the streets are suddenly quiet. There's no one around. You find the address. It's what appears to be an abandoned industrial unit with a chain link fence around it. There's a lock on the fence gate. But there's no one else here.
I'll get the lockpicks out again and see what we can get in.
Yeah, give me that lockpick roll.
65 over 41.
Okay, so
Right.
you can break this lock, but it's heavy and it will take a while, and it might be faster to do this another way.
Just budge out to the side now. Just watch how it's done properly, would you?
Newman, would you like to tell the chat what you just rolled?
I rolled an extreme success, a 6
Oh my
under
gosh.
33. So I even take Clara's lockpick, but I turn it the right way around.
Actually, can I make a better suggestion?
Please, Hedge.
Pull a pin from out of your hair and use that instead.
Yeah, it's a beautiful Hollywood moment.
Looks like I've
Read-
loosened it for you. It's fine. It's
Rita's
fine.
face was one of just really, really enjoying that. Okay, and it clicks open, drops down. That's not how it's meant to work, Clara. That's not how lockpicking works. Lucky, that was just lucky, clearly.
Fluke, absolutely fluke.
Absolute fluke. And you make your way. And in front of you is a big old industrial unit. It's 1 story high, it's maybe 20 meters by 30. Big open space. There's a fairly modern looking goods entrance alongside one wall, and then the other side there is a normal entrance, a main entrance doorway, but it looks locked up tight with a big set of shutters down in front of it, and it looks padded out. Down an alleyway on one side, there's a set of bins, and Harper, to you, those bins look like a really easy way onto the roof.
Can go up that way. Totally easy. No sweat.
Sure. What are
Um,
we waiting for?
After you.
Should we try the door first for the goods door?
What if
What's
they're in
that?
there? What if
That's
the
no
guy's in there?
fun.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
boring.
You're right. You're right. I am slightly going to try the door handle just in case it opens.
No, it's locked.
You're right. Onto the roof, obviously. Let's go that way.
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 100, is everybody good at climbing, like, just off the top of your heads? Because this seems like quite a risky fucking, like, thing to do, like, just up on the roof. I mean, who does that?
Doesn't.
Obviously us. Which is the next thing I was going to say. Let's go.
If we get one of us up there, then at least they can help lift the
I'll go.
rest of us up.
Yeah. Who's the best at climbing?
Harper is.
Harper's already climbing up. This discussion
Harper's
is
already,
boring.
guys, I'm not going to lie to you. Harper is already on the roof.
Yes. This
She
discussion
has
is
Harper,
a
you
boring.
go first. Oh shit, Harper's up there.
She has a 75 in climbing, and I specifically said this did not look hard.
No.
Mhm.
To the rest of
To
you, it looks
Harper.
really difficult.
yeah.
I'll try next then. Do I get a bonus if Harper's helping me up?
Yeah, I'll give you a bonus die to climb up.
Sweet.
Use your climb.
Okay, dokie. Oh dear.
Ed, you remember halfway up you have a fear of heights and decide this is maybe not for you.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Clara, catch her.
Are the other two at the bottom ready to catch me? I fall.
You don't
Finn, you'll be
even
fine.
fall. You get halfway up and you're like, "What are you doing? I'm scared of heights." And you just climb back down again.
Harper, let us in from the inside, will you?
Oh, fine. You're not going to take the interesting ways. Yes, Hedge.
You're on the roof, Harper, so you've got a good view all around you. There's a few more people in the street than there were earlier, and they're moving slightly oddly. They're sort of shambling towards you. They don't look like they're fully aware. They kind of look like junkies. They look sort of stepping slowly towards the warehouse.
There's people coming. Should probably get up here.
Shit, right. Right. Clara, give me a boost.
I'll give Vada a boost.
All right, Vada, give me a bonus die climb roll. Would you like
How
to
much-
spend some luck there?
I would
6 luck.
like to spend some luck. I will spend 6 luck. Thank you, Keeper.
You are also on a roof. I do want to find out what you plan to do now that you're on this roof, but maybe we'll figure that out in a minute.
I'll reach down anyway, dropping a hand down. I suppose if Harper and I are both doing that with an arm down,
Clara,
to
you're
Clara
climbing up?
perhaps.
Before Clara climbs, Clara wants to run back over and put the padlock back on the gate. At least to
Ooh,
save
pretty
us a bit of
smart.
time.
Yes.
See.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that.
So, gate
For a minute, you
closes
think
tight.
that Veda's broken the lock with the stupid way she lockpicked it, but actually, no, it clicks perfectly back into place with no problems at all. You're a little angry about that, but happy, but angry. Yeah,
Angry.
angry.
Go on then, give us a boost up.
I think with all three of you working, it's pretty easy to get Clara onto the roof as well. So it's just Ed on the ground with the three of you on this roof. It's one of these tin roofs, one of these really cheap sort of pieces, but there's a couple of plastic pieces in the middle that give light into this warehouse.
Ready? Ready? Come on.
Can you guys just get inside and open the door? I can't go
What?
up that high.
You fucking pansy, just like take a running jump, like, and we'll catch you.
Okay. He's gonna try again to get up if.
This is a pushed roll, but you have a
Yep.
bonus die.
Okay. So let's.
Push roll on 20.
What's that telling me?
That's,
a hard
that's a
success.
hard success.
Okay.
Hooray. Straight through the plastic roof.
Well, I have a little help from my friends.
The four of you are now on the roof of this warehouse, and you are able to look down into this warehouse.
I think
Do we
that's
think
the
we can
first
move
thing
the
we're doing.
plastic?
Yep.
Yeah.
Remove the plastic from the roof. Did any of you bring any sort of tools that might help one do that sort of thing?
Have
I
a
don't know if we
taser.
planned that
far in
far ahead.
advance.
I mean, we got crowbars, hammers, we've got screwdrivers,
Got busted notepad.
absal kits, flamethrowers. Did we bring
The
anything?
only
we'd have
person that may have something like that on them is Harper, who may have some kind of knife or
Come on, Harper.
Harper, give me a luck roll to determine if you brought any of your things.
Okay.
Robbery kit.
With my 45 luck. Fail.
You luck.
I can't spend luck
you-
on luck, Newman.
I know.
It's just what you brought with you is not the right things to pull up this plastic thing. I guess you could tear it open. That'd be a strength roll.
Yeah, can we try just like stomping on it? Like as hard
And
as
smashing
we can? Yeah.
I got a hard success on my strength roll.
Yeah.
You're a story up, so it's a pretty big drop. It's like maybe 12 foot down there. So I guess you could hang off it and drop the 6 foot. Harper, for you, that's pretty easy. For the others, that's not going to be a simple movement. That's going to be something that's risk of real injury.
Is that a climb or a dex thing?
That's going to be a climb roll, with consequences if you fail.
Is there anything? So shouting down to Harper, I'm going to say, is there anything you can put underneath that we can drop onto?
So, would you mind, Miranda, revealing handout 5 at this point in time?
Ooh.
So this is just now that you're looking down into the warehouse, this is what you see. It's a big empty space. There's almost nothing in this space. Apart from on the eastern side, there appears to be what you think might be 3D printers and an open desk space covered in a brown powder. On top of that, in the middle of the room on a table is a bunch of servers, you think? It's a server stack of some kind, and there's also a monitor. There appears to be some kind of weird gear. They look like glasses from this angle, and a helmet attached to that stack. There's also a closed off office in one direction, and then a big open space has red lines around it. The the hole you've made is just to the north of the server stack, so it's in the open area in the top.
You're gonna have to get down. There's like stuff down here that looks really cool. Maybe they're 3D printing the coffee. You know, there's a huge future in potentially 3D printing food. You can potentially end world hunger. And, you know, they're already working on 3D printing artificial meat. And Harper just goes off on a tangent while staring up at everybody,
As
thinking
she's
about
talking,
these 3D printers.
Vada's just gonna, like, as she's kind of like in the middle of 3D printing food, she's just gonna go, Harper, catch me.
The arms wide open.
Yeah. Is that a climb roll, keeper?
He's diving off.
Well, I like hanging first, and then like not just kind of going, oh, it's like I'm hanging and then I'm dropping and catch me. Is there
a climb roll to determine how well you do this?
Excellent. So pretty good. I'd like to
roll one.
Can I push it? I think I should push it. I think I should push it. I think I've got this. I think I've trained for this my whole life. I think I've got this.
Okay, so Newman, if you just let me give you damage, you'll take 1d4 damage, which is not going to make any sort of major wound. If you push this and fail, you will take a major wound here.
Oh shit.
The temptation of Newman.
Push the roll.
I like how he's pushing it with the power of positive thought.
Yeah, we're gonna push it. We're gonna push it. Okay, right.
Push it real good.
Guys, cross everything you've got. Okay, so seemed like a good idea at the time. Immediately regretting it. 32 over 20. Wasn't far off. It was better. It was better. Better.
Harper's distracted. He isn't paying attention. You drop down. You land, and your ankle breaks. Let's roll a d6. But you have just taken a major wound, so do mark major wound.
Oh no! Do I need to roll a d6?
Roll a d6.
Holy shmoly! This could kill me. I'm dead. I think I broke my neck, not my ankle.
No, you're not necessarily dead, but I do need you to make a Constitution roll.
Oh my god!
Newman.
I don't think I've ever been in a scenario where I've killed myself yet, so this could be something. Can I use luck?
You may spend luck.
I'm going to spend 2 luck just to try and see out the scenario a little bit longer.
Vada has a broken ankle by the looks of things. She collapses to the ground and starts screaming.
Yeah,
And the
100%.
two of you were on the roof above, and Harper, you were just distracted and you weren't paying attention. And suddenly Vada said catch and dropped to the ground. In
Wasn't
what
ready.
was effectively a trust fall when you were not paying attention.
I look at. Oh god. I look at Clara and I just say, "You next."
I'm going to keep watch on the people on the street. We'll let them
Yeah, speaking of, there's more of them now.
more of them.
Yeah, there's quite a lot actually. You'd say there's about 25, 30 people making their way slowly towards this warehouse.
Vada, are you okay? Harper,
Harper,
did you know first aid? Can you? There are a few more people approaching the warehouse. You might want to keep the noise down a little.
Try and bandage up her ankle somehow.
I'll chuck a
Yeah, you
jacket
don't have
down.
medicine, do you? Give me.
Nope.
So you failed
no
that first aid.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to spend that luck?
I'm already the group luck roll person, so I might as well.
Okay, spend that 7 points of luck.
Don't
You
say I never do anything for you, Newman.
Thank you, Rina. I appreciate this.
you you know what to do in these situations, which is effectively to calm the person down. Newman, you are on 1 hit point. You cannot walk. You have a major wound. However, you are not dying and you've calmed down. You're in extreme pain, but you're at least cognizant now. Um, and the two of you on the roof, what is your plan? Eddie.
I mean, Eddie doesn't see anywhere else to go other than down, so he is gonna try to drop down as gracefully as he possibly can. So he's gonna
All right,
climb down, hang on, and then
give me a climb roll.
Kidoki. This is not gonna go well. Oh.
Oh,
I will spend 1
Oh.
luck to make that a success.
You drop safely to the ground.
Disgusting.
And you're in this warehouse room. There's servers nearby, and there's some sort of 3D printing machine, and there's an office to the side. Harper, all of the stuff is also open to you to explore now that Vada has stopped screaming. Yeah, Clara, what do you want to do? You're gonna just keep watch.
I think actually knowing that having a lookout, especially during a heist, is very key. I think what Clara's going to do is Clara is going to voice call everybody on her phone, set it up so they can see what's going on in the street, and also keep watch so that if she needs, she
Okay.
can then let them go. She can let them know in constant communication.
Eddie will pick that up as well because I guess as Harper's looking after Vada, he'll be the one to say, "Look, guys, there's a bunch of people coming. Do we need to barricade ourselves? Like, why are they coming here?"
The gate's
we
locked.
should probably figure out what's going on first.
They
Yeah.
look angry.
They look angry, guys.
Harper, help me up. Help me up on my good leg.
Harper's already wandering around looking at stuff now.
For fuck's sake. Eddie, Eddie,
I'll
baby, help me up on my good leg. I need to
I'll
hop
help her.
around.
I'll help her and I'll move her towards. I guess the desks will have seats. Yeah, the desks have chairs.
Let's say there's there's a seat at the desk. So
Wheelchair?
you're now sitting,
Help along.
and in front
her
of you,
into a seat.
Vada. Sorry, Pete, say that again.
No, I was just saying I was helping her into a chair. Yeah.
So in front of you, there's a server stack, which is connected by a long cable into the office, and also attached here. Now you're a bit closer, you know what it is. There's 2 pairs of glasses, and these glasses appear to be like the Google glasses, the augmented reality glasses. And there's also a helmet and gloves, which are connected. They appear to be haptic feedback gloves, as well as a helmet that's probably a 3D helmet of some kind.
And
hook
this is
them
something that I'm
onto-
familiar with. This is something that I'm like
Both of you would recognize all of this instantly. ARG glasses and haptic feedback gloves. This is stuff for interacting with alternative reality.
Eddie, one of us has got to get in and then see what's going on. I'm in a lot of pain, Eddie.
You do it. Look, this, and he's trying to sort of like take her mind off the pain. He's like, look, it's fine, and he's helping her put the glasses on and the
Right.
gloves, and he's saying, like, look, I'll sort things out on the computer, and then you just tell me what's going on, yeah, and we'll.
So you put the haptic set into Vada.
Yeah.
Okay, Vada.
Yeah.
When you put the helmet on, the space in front of you delineated by the red lines suddenly turns into a large laboratory setting. Glassware
Like-
moves through the space, moving into and out of various servers. Brown liquids moving throughout. It's difficult to comprehend. It looks a little bit like a 19th century fever dream of what a chemical laboratory should look like, but it's integrated within electronics and wires cutting in between it all, which connecting to each other in weird, fancy ways. No human would ever have designed this. This looks artificially created, combining various different conceptual ideas mishmashed together, like absurdist or potentially one of those poorly understood AI drawings that you've been seeing popping up online. And in the middle of all of this chaos is this blue field and big container about the size of a human being. And inside is a roiling black mist.
uh, virtually moving into the space and exploring it, examining it, and obviously this centralized roiling black mist that I have zero idea of what that could be in character. But is there is there anything that Vada is able to, being in this virtual reality space, pick up on in regard, maybe, I don't know,
If you're describing it, I will let Ed make an AI roll on this.
yes, I'll be describing it out loud, absolutely, almost like verbal waterfall.
Yeah, and Ed succeeded on that, so 62 over 70.
Ed, the description of the process that was being outlined was a computer program that could be run. There was a file attached to it on the iPad. You're wondering if someone's taken that idea, refined it, and then simulated it. And this is a 3D augmented reality simulation of that concept. That doesn't make a lot of sense though, because you were told to upload the coffee into this artificial space and then 3D print out. Like, how would that even work? That makes no sense whatsoever. And yet, that's what is happening. Harper, you are wandering around looking at stuff. What are you looking at? What has caught your eye in this room? Would you like me to describe anything?
So there's the servers, there's the 3D printers. Was there anything else in here?
So there's a desk by the 3D printers. Underneath the desk, there's just hundreds of those packets of Alpaca coffee. They're all empty. It looks like this is where they fill the bags with coffee. There's a little measurement thing to weigh the coffee, and then you put it in the bag, and then it looks like there's a whole bunch of cardboard boxes. This is clearly where they've been printing and packing the coffee.
Look at the 3D printers,
Uh-huh.
because as far as Harper's read, this kind of thing is only hypothetical, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she wants to she's listening to the description of things from Vada, and she's wanting to look at the printers and see, like, is there coffee residue in them? Is what are they using to print this? It seems impossible based on current technology.
As far as you can tell,
Hmm.
this 3D printer is printing using a brown feedstock, which is then hardening into coffee beans.
This is bizarre, guys.
There are
Vada,
a lot
Mhm.
of people outside the building now, Clara, approaching from every direction. They've found the fence and they're up against the fence like a horde of zombies slamming into it, trying to push it over.
Guys, there are more of them, and I don't know how long that fence is going to hold. It's they're not breached it yet, but I'd hurry up if I were you and try and well, what have you found?
It shouldn't be possible. None of this should be possible. It's the get rich quick scheme, but it's a simulation. But it's pumping out the coffee. It makes no sense.
Sand roll, Eddie.
Oh,
I think actually only Eddie right
Okay.
now is really capable of comprehending that.
think
Eddie,
it's
I'll take a 1d4 here.
Mm-hmm. That's a full 4.
So yeah, you are. This is messing you up massively. It's it's not possible. None of this could even possibly be real. I mean, it's no sense. You're in almost complete denial, and you're basically backed up against one wall. Veda,
Yeah. I'm
you're
I think there's two things for Veda. One is she's wondering in terms of her interaction with this virtual environment, in terms of how she can impact it. She imagines that the creator of this artificial virtual environment would have used this equipment to be in there. So can she manipulate it? Can she create? Can she delete whatever is in
she
there?
she has the gloves, and the gloves appear to be able to interact with the environment. And
I suppose she.
No, go for it.
I suppose for a moment she might use those gloves just to just play with any potential limits that the gloves have in terms of their interaction. I think obviously this black mist in this centralized tube is very much kind of drawing her attention. I think she's kind of narrating everything she's doing. So if she's moving towards it, I'm just testing the limits of the gloves in terms of their control of the environment within the black tube. Or the tube, sorry, the blue tube with the black mist. I want to see what level of interaction I can have with it. It seems like does it seem sentient, Keeper?
It seems angry.
It seems angry.
simulation. How can it be angry? That's silly.
Speaking of Harper, you can pick up a pair of the glasses that are
Mhm.
sitting beside the haptic suit, and you can put them on, and you can see all of these things as well.
This is weird. Whoa. Can we talk to it? How can this
Hello,
be angry?
Black Mist. Harper
Harper,
wants to talk to you.
one of the things that you notice is that you can't touch anything because you're just wearing the glasses, so your hands just go straight through all of this stuff.
Hmm.
But when you place your hand on the controls and the various things with your gloves, you are very much unable to. Well, it kind of starts shaking when you get close to something and you can sort of pick it up, and it feels a little bit like holding it. It's an odd feeling, haptic feedback gloves.
Is there, if I were to put my hand on the tank,
Uh huh. Give me a
just to,
power roll.
Oh, you've done it now.
I've had really good luck in this game, so I think you guys better just back up and did that roll? No, it didn't. That's oh no, wrong one. That one. Ah, an extreme success.
As you place your hand up against the glass, you feel an echo, a feeling of violence, a desire to smash this glass and let it out, but you shake it off. And instead, you just see this mist smashing itself against whatever force field keeps it inside this tank. The fence
So
collapses outside,
they're putting that in the
and,
coffee.
and the zombies begin pouring in. Well, zombified hipsters really begin pouring into the compound and surrounding this building.
Eddie's
Absolutely
Zipsters.
relay
seeing
that
this
to
on his-
everybody inside.
Yeah, he's seeing this on the phone live, isn't he? From
Yeah.
yeah. Are there any bags of coffee around?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
there's a whole bunch of cheap coffee on the other side of the building. It's not the alpaca coffee stuff. Instead, it looks like the stuff you buy when you go and buy the like 120 packs of coffee from Costco.
Hmm. Would I be able to grab some bags and throw them up to Stu to catch?
This is not alpaca coffee.
Yeah, but I mean, they might not know the difference being zombified hipsters. Maybe we can fool them. So yeah, I'm gonna grab those bags and I'm gonna hoof them up to Clara, and if Clara can catch them, maybe she can. I'm gonna say to her on the phone because it's the live chat. I'm gonna say just throw them the coffee. They want the coffee. Just throw them the coffee. Maybe maybe
So
they'll go away.
this is fun. You're going to manage this, but let's give me a throw roll to determine how well you manage this.
Oh, not very well, I don't think. But let's find out. No.
It's a slightly comical affair. You're like throwing it up and missing and hitting the ceiling, but you do get a couple of bags up eventually, but it takes quite a while. Meanwhile, Harper, you've moved
Mhm.
through the spaces and you're standing beside Veda now, looking at this roiling mist.
Mhm. Should I touch it?
I'm not sure about that. I mean,
I'm gonna touch it.
I think Veda is distracted. I think Veda's using the controls and whatever virtual panels in front of her. She's trying to find some kind of like almost delete and erase protocol.
As you put your hand into the force field, the black mist consumes you. Veda, it pours out of Harper and just slams into you. And suddenly the entire vision, your entire vision, goes black. The two of you watch as Veda and Harper just collapse in front of you.
Eddie, what's going on? What have they
Uh,
done?
I don't know. They just stacked it. They're on the floor. Uh, I'll check on them. But can you just see if you can get those zombies away? Just
I'll distract him with the coffee, absolutely. And I'm going to hoik the
You
coffee
begin
into
hucking in vain this cheap coffee down towards these hipsters. If anything, they're now more angry.
it didn't work.
Keep doing it. The keeper's trying to trick you. Keep doing
They're
this
not like vampires
singular
where
action.
you throw the coffee beans and they have to stop and count each one before they can proceed.
That
You want
that is
folklore?
one hell of a Discworld pull. Um,
Don't let the keeper's use of words like futile attempts throw you off. This is gold. This is the way to
Keep going.
succeed.
Keep going. Yeah, I guess Eddie's gonna try and run over to help sort of Vader, I guess. First being, I guess, she's nearer. and maybe on the way for
It's
good
lit.
measure, just try and tip those server stacks off the table and smash them.
I'll deal with that in a second.
Oh, Hedge is smiling. That wasn't a good move, was it?
Wait, I mean, get the coffee.
It's beautiful. I'll tell you why. Harper,
Yeah.
you can't see, you can't feel. You are no longer able to sense anything, and it is frustrating. You're actually on the edge of panic. You can't feel your own skin. And even on your worst days, you can feel your skin. You're suddenly just nowhere. And it's hard and it's difficult and nothing makes sense. And you don't even know who you are anymore. And you are standing on a bridge. Down below you, black mist is hurtling down a path. Beside you is a lever. If you pull the lever, the path will change direction. Right now, the path leads to 5 strangers, and you know for absolute certain if you do nothing, those 5 people will be torn apart by this black mist. However, if you pull this lever, Vada will die. What do you do?
It's like, I'm sorry. It doesn't do anything because she doesn't know those people, but she knows Veda. And also she feels bad for Veda breaking her ankle because she was distracted.
The mist rolls forward, and those 5 people beg. They scream. They tell you they have names. This one is called Callum Deans. He's a software engineer working on saving the world and the environment. And he dies. Give me a sanity roll.
I think that's fair. Extreme success.
You're good with this.
Mm-hmm.
Take one sanity point loss because this is all very freaky. But yeah, no. This is you're weirdly deterministic with your morality. It seems.
Yes.
Ed, you knock over these servers and they smash, and suddenly sparks fly out of them, and then a black mist comes pouring out and pierces into you, and you fall to the ground. Ed, you and Harper are running through a forest in a storm. You've got to get away from the mist behind you. You break out into this clearing in the center of the island. Above you, the farmer is about to break open the hill, and if he does so, he will release an ancient nightmare. You, Ed, are holding a shotgun. The farmer is, of course, Veda Chakrabati. She's just about to move this JCB in and unearth this ancient cave, which will release a nightmare that could destroy the world. You hear the bleating of sheep in the distance and an odd sound that you're not used to, which you think might be an alpaca. What do you guys do?
I think on balance, if it is going to be a nightmare that consumes the world, I think in that moment he would take the shot. As much as he loves Vada and is friends with Vada.
Give me a sanity roll.
Dokie. That's a 25 over 56. Hard success.
Again, you surprisingly okay with these tough decisions. Outside, the zombie hipsters are beginning to climb the wall, Harper. They're coming for you. You look down through that gap. Black mist is heading towards you. The zombie hipsters suddenly become even more violent, tearing at the roof itself in an attempt to get up and get towards you. They're almost tearing the building apart with their bare hands. What do you do?
Haenze is out, and I think it's going to be a case of are any of the edges of the building likely to be escapable from, or are they surrounding completely?
Yes. You could maybe try a running jump off of one side and get to the nearest building, but this is not a skill that you have. You're not the right person for this skill, Clara. But there's not a lot of other options, you guess.
If there's no other options, then I'm alone on a roof. There are people who want to harm me coming after me. I need to jump across onto another roof.
It's always jump rolls with us, isn't it, Stu?
It is, isn't it? But let's give it a go, shall we?
Give me a jump roll.
That's an 84 over 20.
You bottle it. The first time you look at this running jump, you run up, you slip slightly, and you don't jump. You're just not sure you can. Maybe if you jumped into the building instead, anything except make this jump. If you want to push it, you can, or if you want to take another option, you can.
Is the black mist now on the roof, or is it still
It's
in
it you if you jumped into the hole, you would basically be in black mist.
black mist?
It's filling the warehouse.
To be fair, Clara doesn't know anything about the black mist. All Clara knows is it could be smoke, fire. Is it safer to go in? This is you want to get away. I'm going to push that roll. I'm going to push the jump roll.
Oh my
It's not going
gosh.
to end well.
Yes.
See how
It
it goes.
could.
Oh, that's
Oh.
a 25 over 20. It is a failure, though, on a push jump roll.
Wow. Okay. You are in an old 1920s building. It is fantastic. There's beautiful walls. You've been invited to a party. You're all in masks. Edge, it's you're in a beautiful suit. Harper, you're wearing a lovely dress that you picked out, and you've got the most elaborate face mask ever on. Suddenly, one of the other guests is holding a spear in their hands. The reason you were invited to this party is it was going to be a mystery, but it turned out the mystery was the fact that the host had died. Now, you are convinced that the butler did it. It was the butler. It was definitely the butler. You know the butler did it. Okay? However, the other party member, Vada, you are sure that they are all out to get you. They're sure that you're sure it was one of them. You know for a fact that it definitely wasn't the butler. And you have this halberd in your hand.
Not the halberd again.
I use it with extreme aggression. Who's closest to me, Keeper?
Ed.
Who, sorry?
Ed.
Oh, Ed. I with fear, defensiveness, and just pure survival, I am going to swing it directly at Ed's neck.
Give me a fighting brawl. Ed, how do you respond to this?
I'm going to try and wrest the halberd from her hands.
I
Okay, give me a
have
fighting brawl.
Okay, dokie.
fumbled my fighting brawl attack.
Trying to fail, but
Pete,
53 over 50.
I think we all need you to spend luck to hurt Newman. I think it's very important to all of us that someone spends luck against Newman.
You don't have to ask me that.
You had me at hurt, Newman.
I had a choice. The choice I had before was: would you like to hurt Newman or not hurt Newman? I was like,
I've made my choice, and I will stick
yes.
by it.
I will spend that luck to make that a success.
Vada fumbles and turns, and suddenly you have the harpoon, the halberd in your hand, and you turn, and without thinking, you just use your Brazilian jiu-jitsu training to stab forward, and it hits Vada in the guts. A look of surprise suddenly fills her eyes as she falls down. Now, while this is going on, Harper, I'd like to remind you, this has got nothing to do with the fact that the butler did it. He's in front of you, and if you don't stop the butler, he's going to turn into some horrible tentacled monstrosity of a creature.
I'm gonna attack the butler.
Brilliant. Give me a fighting brawl roll.
Okay. This is gonna go so well. My fighting brawl. There we go. Oh, I succeeded.
You
a
stab
shock.
him in the chest, and he falls down dead in front of you. Harper, Eddie, you're in the basement of the Miskatonic Playhouse. Above you, the ritual to wake the idiot god Azathoth continues. You know that if the ritual finishes and wakes Azathoth, reality itself will come to an end. You have moved into the basement to disrupt the ritual and to stop it in some way before the idiot god can be awoken. You cannot stop what is happening in the theatre. It is too far gone. It is too far advanced. However, the focus is in the basement. You've snuck in. You're staring at the idol in the center. Whatever focal point of the ritual is, it can no longer be Azathoth. What do you do?
Try and break the statue. The idol.
Yeah, you can stand there and you can push it away, you can move it away, you can smash it, no problem at all. But now there's a gap. There's a space where something else needs to go.
Where's Newman?
Vada's gone. Eddie,
Is it
what's your thoughts? You're there
So
too.
I'm seeing this too. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it apparent to me that one of us has to go in that space?
No, not necessarily. You could put something else, a representation of something. What have you brought? This is for you to decide. It's almost like it's asking you a question. It wants to know what. Give me an artificial intelligence roll.
Okay. That's an extreme success. 7 over 70.
Yeah, it's asking you a question. What should it focus on? This is a simulation of a question. It's asking questions, Ed. This is a question. What should it focus on?
And does it have to be like a representation of that thing, or
You don't think This is a simulation. It can be anything.
I'm gonna ask it to focus on peace, just peace and calm and serenity.
And you wake up. There is screaming. The building you're in is on fire. You look around. Harper is looking you in the eyes, Eddie. The two of you are back in the warehouse. You look over to Vada. She's not breathing. There is smoke all around you. You have no idea where Clara is.
We need to get out of here.
Yeah. What about Vada? What about Vada? And I'll
Can
go
you
over to try and.
both give me SAN rolls?
Mhm.
Seems reasonable.
That's just about fail.
I fumbled.
1d4. Oh no, I'll do 1d4 plus 1. So that's 5. So that'll be an intelligence roll for Harper.
Mhm.
So that's 5 SAN loss Harper. So give me an intelligence roll.
Oh, I'm very smart. Oh, I failed! Roll 20 doesn't want bouts today.
I've been trying.
I
And Ed,
know.
that's 1d4.
So 1.
So that's 2 SAN loss for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're both doing all right. Like, you're freaking out. You're scared. You're terrified. You want to run away. There's violence everywhere around you. There's like a riot going on outside. Buildings on fire. Harper, you're struggling to care for anyone else right now, but you are in control.
We need to go. We need to go. We need to go. We need to go.
Yeah, we gotta go. But Vada, and he's trying to. I know Vada's not breathing, but he's trying to sort of grab her and drag her out with them, getting away from the smoke.
Is she dead?
I don't know. Let's just get her out of here and then do CPR or something. Is it clear the way to go out? Do we know?
There are holes in the side of the building. It's been
Oh wow.
torn apart.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try my best to sort of. I'm gonna heave Vada over my shoulder and
Strength roll.
yeah. Let's give it a go. That's a success. 51 over 60.
Vada's on your shoulder and you are running out of the building. As the two of you make your way out, you see Clara's head lying on the ground.
What?
SAN rolls.
Her head?
What? What?
I failed.
I failed.
I'll take a 1d6 from both of you there.
Oh my god.
That's a 2 for me.
5! And I have hit my threshold, so it's an automatic bout.
All right.
Hell yeah.
I think you just run off, Harper. I think we're
Okay.
going to narrate this in a moment, but I kind of want to find out what happens to Eddie here. So we'll just stick with him for a moment. Eddie, Harper runs off. You're holding what is increasingly becoming obviously is the corpse of Vada on your back. Bits of Clara can be seen all over the compound around you. You're alone. There are people attacking you in every direction. Like there's people running towards you with fire and danger and pain in their eyes. They're going to kill you. What do you do?
I guess as he's grabbing her hands over her shoulder, you can feel that Vada's, growing cold. And so he lets Vader's body just slump down onto the floor and he sees the people running at him. And he gets into a Brazilian jiu-jitsu stance and waits for the first one to get to him, and he's just gonna take them all on one by one.
Rina, Get a luck roll.
Oh God. This is not going to go well. Yep, I failed.
You're running through the streets. Chaos. You're just trying to get away. You have to get away. You have to get away. Where do you go?
I think I run to the gaming
Home?
store.
The gaming
No,
store.
the game store. It's a place I feel safe.
You run to the gaming store. The windows are all smashed and broken. But standing in the center of the gaming store, baseball bat on his back, Morgan King stands proudly, looking around. No matter what, he is protecting his gaming store. What do you do?
Morgan? What's going on? Morgan, help!
He turns to look at you, and you just see something in his eyes. Something violent. Something strong. And he swings the baseball bat right at your head. Thank you for playing Alpaca in the Coffee, everyone. What an amazing TPK. I loved it. That was just a brilliant way. What a just awful, horrifying end. Leith is destroyed by a riot. In an attempt to bring peace, it attempts to kill absolutely everyone, so there is no longer anyone to fight anymore. The misunderstands thing. The army is eventually called in. It surrounds Leith and effectively destroys it. There is a prolonged battle which consumes a good portion of Edinburgh, and the entire city, after a couple of days, is in an entire mess. The greatest battle takes place outside what is known as the Boundary Bar, the line between Edinburgh and Leith, where the military effectively murder thousands of their own citizens. This rebounds and causes problems across the entire globe. Well, you got the worst ending.
We won!
Yay!
Yes.
Amazing.
Wait. We won!
We won!
We got to kill Newman, so it's not the worst ending.
You got to
You
win, yeah.
won!
Fantastic.
That was amazing. Thank you, Hedge.
Yeah, really
Thank you
cool. Really
all
cool.
very, very much. As I promised Newman, I would tell him what happened at the end with that power roll.
Yes.
I was going to have you actually kill him if you'd failed that power roll. Instead, you just found the body.
Nice.
If you drink the coffee, you get violent. You were violent from drinking the coffee. The coffee was connected to the Black Mist. The Black Mist was angry because it had been contained, because it had been summoned by the old Enochian binding ritual.
Wait. It was the coffee. You told me it wasn't the coffee.
When we finish our scenario, as always, what we do is we go around the table and we talk about things we really enjoyed about the scenario, either moments or just stuff we liked about what the entire experience was. We're going to go around the table and I'll say something and then I'll summarize and tell you a little bit about myself and the Playhouse. Let's start with our the man who always dies, someone I kill even more than Newman, Stu Sellens.
But yeah, absolutely great fun. I tell you what, having the trolley problem as a climactic, harrowing, cosmic horror outcome, that's wonderful. And I think I spotted some Easter eggs of other Miskatonic repository scenarios in there as well.
Yes.
So you had Alpaca in the Sheepfield, and
Uh-huh.
did I spot all part of the game?
It was
Yeah.
all part of the
In
game.
there.
Specifically, it was the run through where Newman murdered everyone with a halberd.
Fantastic.
The scenario suggests that you take things you've done in the past and you put them there. because the idea is that it's searching for understanding. It's trying to understand you, so it's giving you problems to see how you solve them. You mostly solve the problems violently, so things kept getting worse.
And that's why we had the
Uh,
hill and the farmer and the JCB
yeah.
and the sheep. Yeah, brilliant.
Which obviously was Alpaca in the sheep field, and it was what's his chops, Dougal McCain,
Mm.
played
John
by Vada, John McCain. Yeah,
I did quite enjoy the parallel to my death in Alpaca and the Sheepfield as well, when I was
yeah.
Mhm.
having to
Yeah.
jump between two buildings being chased by. Yeah,
So I was expecting you to end up in the mist, and I was going to take your moment as Gale from the previous one and recreate that instead, but we got where we were.
And someone did get
Pete.
brained with a baseball bat, didn't they, as well? So there you go.
Yes,
He
he
That's another.
did.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was great. I think I've said this to you before as well, but I think I really love the fact that you've got the same creature in a number of scenarios, but in every single one, it's like a fresh spin on it,
Yeah.
and it's always something new and it's always something really exciting. So I really love that, and I think the AI stuff, because I work in that a little bit, seeing the AI stuff is absolutely bob on about all the things that it can get wrong, how the get rich quick schemes, all that kind of stuff, and how the systems will just completely misunderstand what you're saying. Should have seen that coming when I said about world peace. But yeah, it just wasn't thinking. So yeah.
Surely there's incredible
fantastic.
safety measures that are in place for these things. Surely people spend most of their company's money making sure things are safe. Is that not
Well, exactly.
standard
Have you
behavior?
not seen Terminator 2? It was always safe. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Rina.
I really loved the bait and switch at the very beginning, where it's like, we're gonna make this board game that you're playing, and you're playing board games together, and all of a sudden, immediately violence breaks out. Just that subverting of expectations of you're gonna have an ease into it. That was really fun, and it really set the tone for the whole thing. I absolutely love that.
Thanks, Newman.
Similar to Rena, in my head it was like a phrase I use for that is like a back foot game. You start on the back foot, and it's really good fun because you're not kind of getting that slow and here's this handout and now we're going here, and it's like you're on the back foot. Go, what you do, and it's very much a quick reactive experience, and it's really good. It's a really fresh way to play a scenario because you are on the back foot and people are being violent and things are happening and you haven't had any kind of like hand holding or lead in. So what do you do, punk, as the keeper holds the metaphorical gun to you and you have to keep coming up with things? I think that's good. I think that's a really nice improvisation, like shared improvisation experience where we are kind of going, well, what the hell do we do? Because there's a lot of quick decisions being made, and two of us ended up at Byron's house, two of us ended up at Claire's house, and it led to very different things. But those were quick decisions that were made because of that kind of like you're on the back foot nature. It's good fun.
Brilliant. I would just like to, as always, give a shout out to just how well you all embodied those characters, and just like moments like Vada just refusing to let anyone in her house, which is in her character sheet, and just the depth to which Rina
Mhm.
embodied Harper. I loved how you all brought something to it. I love how alive and real you made these people. That was really, really pleasant. It was really fun to take you all through it. And like, because I mentioned this in the chat, but we wanted to get a bit more horrifying. We wanted to be a bit meaner this time. We wanted to show this, and we still had goofs and laughs and fun. But oh, that was a lovely, dark, horrifying, horrible ending. And I do enjoy being able to do that, and having a group that trusts me and lets me do that is part of the reason why I can do that, and we can tell these really fun stories. So thank you all so much for joining us here at the Miskatonic Playhouse. I've been John Hedge. We have Rina Haenze, we have Tia Newman, we have Pete Doom, I guess, and Stu Sellens here. It was lovely spending time with you all. Please put your coffee cups in the recycling bin on your way out.